Alrighty, I believe we are live, ladies and gentlemen. They are introducing all of the prospects at the draft on stage right now. I need to go make sure we are getting audio on this stream. So, yeah, I started this 30 seconds early. It is what it is. Let's see here. Okay. So, right now we are good, and I need to make sure we're not duplicating audio on the stream. So, let's just double check that right now. We shouldn't be, but I do need to double check to make sure that nothing is overlapping or nothing is doing anything of the sort like that. Oh, there's the alarm. All right, yeah, we're good. We're good. I have a couple things thrown up on the background for different monitors. I do have a setting to throw up my draft board, but I don't think it's going to work because it's just going to crop me out of the picture or out of the frame. Now, I switched things up a little bit from the previous years. Previous years, this bottom bar was on the top, and then this little selector, which has on the clock and what team's on the clock and what team's pick is in, it was just under this bar. But I figured the bar was kind of cutting off the top of my head, so I moved it down pretty much to the bottom. And I'm just switching up the look, keeping things a little bit fresh this year. We won't officially put the Raiders on the clock until they are on the clock. They just introduced Dylan Thieneman, the Oregon safety, and let's go see if they're just introduced Jordan Tyson, introducing the top prospects right now, and then in 15 minutes the draft will start. Then we got to switch over and make sure everything is working. So I'm going to make sure everything is going to be good in that regard. So let's go ahead. Let's pull that up. Let's pull up my backup just in case as well. Because, yeah. So for some reason, every year the draft just does something to me that just doesn't work. So, yeah, let's try and get everything going. But yeah, there's some years where my internet goes down, which, by the way, my internet has been up and down today because they're installing new stuff in my area. So if the stream goes down, it will go right back up. But last year, my internet went down right before the Broncos picked, and I had to get the stream up again and get my internet working. In previous years, my streaming software just didn't let me go live. So the past few years have been very frustrating. I'm not going to lie. But hopefully this year, we should be good to go. Now, obviously, the Broncos aren't going to be picking today. We're not going to trade up into the first round. As fun as that would be, we're not going to do it. I doubt we're going to give up a 2027 first round pick because the 2027 draft looks awesome. And this draft, there's really 22, 23 first round talents from around the league. So if you're trading up to the back end of the first, you're most likely not getting a true first round talent for these players. So if you want to trade up, do it in the second round. But yeah, here we go. Here we go. We are about live. I want to make sure that we got everything going. Let me get my draft board set up and everything like that. I have my draft board set up. I have all my positional rankings 1 through 20 at each position. I have my big board with my top 100 players on it. And then I was doing a new format this year, but I kind of forgot about that. And so I can try and set up. I guess I could set it up for the first round anyway, and then work on it all day tomorrow. But yeah, I definitely forgot I was gonna do this. So that's a bit of a disappointment. But what can you do? What can you do? But yeah, it just essentially goes position by position, and instead of a ranking, it's got each position, and it's got 3 segments: top 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 32 in the first, and then top of the second, middle of the second, bottom of the second, and that goes the same through all the other rounds. And I just like to have the position rankings that way, almost like a true draft board, but I've really forgot it this year. And this year in the draft has been interesting. Most of the time, I'm super invested looking at the prospects. This year's been really weird, and I haven't been doing that, even when the Broncos had a first-round pick. So this draft, I don't know, something's been off, but I still love the draft. I still enjoy it. I still take work off every year to watch it and to just have fun with the draft. But yeah, oops, I accidentally closed the stream for my channel on my monitor, I definitely want to have that open just in case so I can manage the stream from that side if need be. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get going. How's everyone doing? We are officially 10 minutes out from the NFL draft. Broncos obviously don't have a pick. That's fine. We love Jalen Waddle over here. I need to put my phone somewhere. Most years I look at my phone and I spoil a couple picks for myself, and I like to have the surprise and I like to see the reaction. I love the draft. I love the just the anticipation of each pick coming in. So there does need to be, or I do need to put my phone away so I don't check social media and have don't have myself spoiled. But yeah, here we go. All right. I'm sure many of you have seen my mock draft. It differs from a lot of people. But yeah, I don't know. In prior years, I would always lean towards consensus in terms of my big board and rankings. And this year I wanted to not do that. I wanted to actually have my own, well, most of it was my own opinions, but there was some influence from the outside media and consensus big boards. It's like, oh, a lot of people like this player, probably should put him higher on my big board. And no, I don't want to, I don't want to do that this year. I want to have my own rankings, even if, I'm wrong. And even if I disagree, then most of the media, then, hey, what can you do? But I wanted to do that this year. Now, I want to get up if I can. I don't want to get spoiled by these mock draft simulators. I know PFF spoils on theirs as soon as the picks come in. I don't want to do that. I'm just looking for okay, yeah, perfect. The player rankings right here. This is perfect. Yeah, don't want to track the draft. Just want to pull them up so we can have the summaries for all these players selected tonight. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Eight minutes out. I was going to ask everyone, who do you think the first overall pick is going to be? But we know it's going to be Fernando Mendoza. I guess I'll ask, let me take this out. So, yeah, there we go. Who's everyone's top player in this draft? I think that's a good question. I think it's Caleb Downs personally, but could be Arvell Reese, could be Fernando Mendoza. I know a lot of people actually do have him as the number one player, which in some drafts it's rare that the number one overall pick, if you need a quarterback, is the top player in the draft. But this year very well could be. Think back to 2024's, probably Caleb Williams was the top talent. I think for me, going back to what was the draft, was it I think it was 22 when the Jaguars took Trayvon Walker. I thought Aiden Hutchinson was probably going to go before him, but that's an example of a non-quarterback. But everyone obviously has their own draft rankings. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. If you like a player, you take them. And it doesn't really matter because we're not going to know how well these players turn out until 3 years in their career at minimum. So, for the most part, obviously there's exceptions. So, yeah, but here we are. We will change the scroll bar here very soon. Obviously, this is the third round from last year because I only streamed day 2 last year. I was super, super exhausted last year, so I didn't want to do day 3. But I'm going to try and do day 3. Maybe that ends up getting canceled, but I do want to do, as of right now, day 3. And maybe we don't do all of day 3. Maybe we stop after a little bit. But yeah, for now, that's the plan. I do also want to pull up, at least on the ESPN app, I do want to pull up the Avs game because they will be playing a little bit later tonight. And obviously it's game 3, first game in LA. We want to go up 3-0 in the series. So yeah, it's going to start at 8 p.m. But I mean, we'll probably be Well, typically it goes like 3, 4 hours, sometimes 5 hours on the first day. So we'll see if we can catch the end of it. But good. My internet just absolutely froze. So I'm hoping the stream is going to be fine. Again, I've been there's installing new stuff in my area. My internet's been up and down all day today, and the estimated time that it's going to finish is going to be at 6:20, so 20 minutes from now, but hopefully we're all good. I see a bunch of stuff launching though. Maybe the internet dipped for a second. Let's go check. Let's go make sure. Are we good? It looks like we're good. Looks like we're all good, but who knows? Who knows? If the internet does go out, I'm going back live. I don't want to do two parts, but if I have to do two parts, I'll do it. And if I have to record the draft when my internet goes down and just post the rest of it as a video later, then so be it. I'll put it in a playlist so it can just be one continuous watch and you don't have to click from video to video. But the goal is just to have 3 streams today, tomorrow, and Saturday. That's the plan. That's the goal. So yeah, here we are with the Denver Broncos, or not the Denver Broncos. We're not picking right now. I'm not wearing a jersey right now because we're not picking. I'm just wearing some comfy clothes, just wearing some t-shirt and some shorts. But yeah, just waiting for the NFL draft. we Okay, got the backup working. The backup, well, I can go into the launch thing. It's not starting yet, but I would prefer just to watch it on ESPN. That's how I do it every year. Easiest for me, easy for my system for how I stream. So there is that. As soon as the Raiders go on the clock, we'll change the scroll bar and we'll start for the 2026 NFL draft. So if you're interested in how the third round of the NFL draft went last year, here it is right there. There's Pat Bryant and then Nick Martin from my Oklahoma State Cowboys. So yeah, I'm going to unmute the screen and we'll just see what's going on here. They're talking about George Pickens and his franchise tag that he intends to sign the franchise tag, which means he'll have to participate in offseason workouts, but the Cowboys can trade George Pickens a lot easier once he signs that franchise tag. And there have been reports that maybe the Cowboys are targeting a receiver early in this draft, whether that's going to be a Carnell Tate. I think he's going to be gone. Is that going to be a Jordan Tyson? Is he going to slip down far enough for the Cowboys to get? Sounds like he might still go top 5. Or is it going to be Mekhi Lemon? Are they going to pair CD with another young receiver? There's been rumors of that this morning. I think they go defense, but that's the reports. And right now, obviously, everything is a smokescreen. We've been in smokescreen season for a while now, but take everything you see with a grain of salt. So, yeah. We are officially 2.5 minutes out from the NFL draft. If anyone is going to ask, I cannot show the draft on stream. I'll get shut down. So the best thing I can do is say, pull up the draft with you and just watch alongside me. Another thing, don't spoil any picks. I like seeing it on my screen for myself. If you spoil in the chat, then first time, it's going to be a timeout. Second time, going to be a ban for the rest of the draft. So just throwing that out there. I don't like being spoiled. I like to see the reaction myself on the screen. So there's that. Don't mention the pick until I say the pick. Essentially, that's the main rule. That's the main rule right there. All right. Minute 45, ladies and gentlemen, until the draft starts. Who do we want the Broncos to take? Obviously, we don't pick until late tomorrow unless we trade up. But when you look at some of the players that have been rumored to, or I guess not necessarily rumored, Jacob Rodriguez would be my ideal pick for the Broncos. I would love if we traded up for him. But there's been rumors of Caleb Banks. If Caleb Banks fell to 62, absolutely sign me up. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's a far-fetched thing that's not going to happen, but there have been rumors, so I just wanted to mention that. But I think most likely it's going to be okay, yeah, they're showing teams without a first round pick. It's us, the Falcons, the Packers, the Colts, the Jaguars, and the Bengals. Bengals traded for Dexter Lawrence. Jaguars obviously in the trade up last year for Travis Hunter. The Colts for Sauce Gardner. The Packers for Micah Parsons. And then the Falcons when they traded up for James Pierce in last year's draft. All right, it is officially 6 p.m. So the draft should be starting any moment now. Let's watch. Which one do we want to watch? I guess we'll watch on ABC. We'll do this one. All right, we'll keep both of these open for now. But yeah, the draft should be kicking off very, very shortly. And I'm not putting the Raiders on the clock until the commissioner says it. All right. All right, we'll just leave it here. I'm just trying to find the right channel. So got a couple going on right now. Let me go back actually. All right. Showing all the prospects at home. Fernando Mendoza, of course, staying home with his family. Would you guys go to the draft if you were draft eligible, or would you stay home? For me, I think I would want to go to the draft. I'd want that experience. I'd want to walk the stage, meet the commissioner. That's just a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So for me, I would definitely go. I would definitely go to the draft, but obviously not something I necessarily have to worry about. They just showed Jacob Rodriguez on one of the side monitors, kind of scrolling around. But here comes the commish, ladies and gentlemen. Here he comes with TJ Watt and Cam Hayward. Of course, the draft is taking place in Pittsburgh, so bringing out some Steelers legends right there. And the obligatory boos for Commissioner Goodell are starting to rein in. Here we go. All right, here we go. The commish is about to open up the NFL draft here. Okay. Yeah, they're hyping up the Steelers home crowd with TJ Watt and Cam Hayward here. Let me can I move this down here to make all right, yeah, now I can just kind of sit back and relax. I don't necessarily have to lean forward. I can just chill right here. All right, Cam Hayward is getting everyone hyped up. Sorry if the me adjusting the mic is loud. I was editing my video the other night, or for my mock draft that released really early this morning, and the boom arm mic was so loud. I'm sorry about that. So. Okay, now they're bringing out Lynn Swan and Hines Ward for the Steelers. These like pre-draft things always take forever, but I get it. I mean, it's to hype up the home fan base and get them excited for the draft because they should, theoretically speaking, be the majority in person. But oh, they keep introducing. Keep introducing. Yeah, they're introducing Big Ben here. Man, I mean, it always takes forever here at this early part, but and now Terry Bradshaw. So hard to find a right camera. I don't know why my webcam's so zoomed in, but whatever. It is what it is. The draft is officially open, and the Raiders are now on the clock. They only have 8 minutes. I think they shrunk the first round timer from 10 to 8. At least that's what they're showing. So we're going to go ahead and the scroll bar here, we're going to switch this to round 1. This is going to be 1 with the Las Vegas Raiders. And we're going to delete the rest of this. And it's going to be... okay, it's going to say Darius, or it should say Darius Alexander, but I guess I didn't write that. But it should be Fernando Mendoza right here. Oh, Mendoza reached out to Brian Galisi to help him get prepared. Broncos legend. There's Mendoza and his brother, of course, who was his backup this past season. I mean, the pick should be in, but I'm pretty sure the NFL tells them to wait a little bit to submit the pick. I believe they said that when Caleb Williams went number 1 overall, that the Bears had to wait a certain amount of time before they could, with the number 1 overall pick, know who you're drafting at this point, but who knows? And then, of course, we do have the trade alert graphic that I made. That will be that'll be popping up hopefully a few times tonight. It's always fun with a little bit of chaos, a little bit of trades going on. But yeah, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, everyone's already saying it's a certainty that Mendoza's going number 1, and that's probably true, but I'm not gonna say it until it officially happens. Yeah, so, but there's on the broadcast they're saying it's pretty much official. Yep, Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner, of course. They were showing all the quarterbacks who won the Heisman and went number 1 overall with Cam Newton, Joe Burrow. So yeah, they're just showing all of that and comparing that, and then yeah, I mean, it's always understandable why they show the highlights and talk about the player who's going to be selected. So I mean, it's the number 1 overall pick. You wanna you want to talk about him a lot. Let's be honest, that's what the broadcast wants to do. Mostly a pocket passer, right? But I need to cut that out of my vocabulary. Mostly a pocket passer, but does have some athleticism. A very tough player. You think about that quarterback draw against Miami in the national championship. Just took a blast and just ran it into the end zone. Great contact balance on that run. Fernando Mendoza, yeah, I think he deserves to go number 1 overall. I kind of like Mendoza, so it sucks that he has to go to the Raiders. But they're celebrating. They're celebrating. They're all high-fiving in Vegas's war room. Shaking Coach Clint Kubiak's hand. So, pick should officially be in here any minute now. I shouldn't get any notifications. I'm just going to move my phone. So, yeah, we'll just move it right there. Still waiting for the pick to officially be in for the Raiders here. The pick is officially in. Raiders pick is in. This should be Fernando Mendoza. They're giving a comp to Mendoza of Drew Bledsoe. They're showing his deep ball accuracy, which, yeah, I mean, obviously, nice, a really good pocket passer with some mobility. Not going to be crazy athletic. We think as Broncos fans, we know how athletic and mobile Bo Nix can be. That's not going to be really Fernando Mendoza, but he can move. He can take off if he needs to, but it's not going to be any crazy scrambling like a Josh Allen, like a Lamar Jackson. I would say even like a Bo Nix, not that he's at that same level, but Bo Nix is mobile. He can take off with his legs and make stuff happen when he's the ball carrier. But Mendoza, mostly a pocket passer, but he can put the ball anywhere on the field. He can make pretty much every throw. Got some nice deep ball accuracy. So, yeah, Mendoza should be the pick right here. The commish should be coming out soon. They're showing a shot of the stage, which typically means the commissioner is going to be walking out, and there he is. Here is the first overall pick of the 2026 NFL Draft. Fernando Mendoza. Quarterback out of Indiana. Do we want to put a school? Yeah, we'll put the school. I haven't done that in years past, but we'll put the school. The New York Jets are oops, sorry, didn't mean to hit the trade alert button. But that means the New York Jets are officially on the clock. The AFC West quarterbacks now consist of Bo Nix, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Fernando Mendoza. The Jets have just under 5 minutes to make their pick now. The first place we're looking for a potential trade would be number 3 with Arizona. It sounds like they're interested in moving out. Right now, the rumors are number 2 for the New York Jets would be for David Bailey to go here. But if I was the Jets, I would go Arvell Reese personally. I like Arvell Reese, and I know you're moving him from an off-ball linebacker to an edge rusher. But I still really like Arvell Reese, man. That would be my pick if I was the Jets here at number 2. But to each their own. To each their own. I'm not as high on David Bailey as most people. But I do still think he's a top 10 guy. I think he might just be outside of my top 5. Let me see here. Where do I have David Bailey on my big board? Yeah, I have him at number 7, so just outside the top 5. But yeah, my top 5 is Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese, Jeremiah Love, Mendoza, and Ruben Bain. So he's number 7, right behind Francis Mauigoa, who's my number 6 prospect. And why? Oh my goodness. Okay. There's a bug flying around here. I don't know how it got in here. But I would go Arvell Reese. That's what I think Mel Kiper is saying right now, but could be David Bailey. Nice speed rusher off of the edge, but man, I don't know. I still like Arvell Reese. And yeah, I mean, it's whoever you think is the top player, but I would go Arvell Reese. But David Bailey, let's look at him. He's got nice explosiveness off of the ball, nice motor, twitch, good power, good speed off the edge, honestly, as well. But yeah, I would go with Arvell Reese. Okay, there is a draft tracker on this website, so I need to get off of it. The Jets pick is in. I did miss that when I was looking elsewhere. But yeah, I think we're gonna have to just avoid that website. Yeah, let me just close it. Let me close it. I don't want to, but I do think I need to close it. I hate that those websites that you can look at and show the prospect off, it kind of spoils their pick before it happens on the broadcast. And it is unfortunate, but we get to react live to this pick. The Jets pick is in. Yeah, Booger McFarland is talking about that Arvell Reese has the upside, which he does, but David Bailey, I guess, is the proven pass rusher there. So if you want to get someone to put pressure on the quarterback so they can actually get the Jets can actually get an interception this season, then yeah, David Bailey would be the pick for them. And I can understand it from that perspective, but man, Arvell Reese, that would be tough to pass up on. But in my mock, I did have Arvell Reese here. Let me pull up my mock so we can go side by side. That's not it. Here it is. All right, number 2. Yeah, Arvell Reese here. But I wanted to pull up the mock draft for as it gets later into the draft. I can say who I have each team selecting. All right, here is the commissioner. Here is the number 2 overall pick to the New York Jets. David Bailey. Edge out of Texas Tech. Whoops. Which means the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock, and this could be our first trade spot. But David Bailey is the pick to. Sorry, let me just adjust this real quick. NFC West Cardinals. Yeah, got a high motor, powerful guy off the edge, got some speed. Getting some pass rush for your team. Former Broncos GM Darren Muji making the pick there. But yeah, the Jets obviously didn't have any interceptions last year, so they need some pass rush help. Traded away Quinnen Williams, so they got a second first-round pick from Dallas. So, yeah. Need some pass rush help for that defense. David Bailey is the proven pass rusher, but you do have the upside of Arvell Reese, which I really liked. So my mock draft is already invalid, but I kind of figured that because the rumor yesterday was, and honestly not just yesterday, but for the past few days, that David Bailey was going to go at number 2 to the Jets. I just like Arvell Reese that I wanted to mock him at number 2 right there. So here at number 3, we have the Arizona Cardinals. My selection for them, if they don't trade, and I did a no-trade mock draft, was Francis Maui-Noa, the tackle from Miami. And he does have a back injury going on right now, but pairing him up with Paris Johnson Jr. for if you do draft Ty Simpson later, if you trade up, or if you do, whoever your franchise quarterback is, you have the bookend tackles of Paris Johnson Jr. and Francis Maui-Noa. And then the Schefter alert, the Jets have 3 coaches that were on Stanford's staff with, I think that said David Bailey. And then they added intel, and the Jets valued David Bailey higher. So obviously, when you have coaches that worked with players, you can vouch for them if you've worked with them before. That was kind of like Bo Nix with the Broncos when you did have Alex Forsythe and the work you did on him. Not to this extent with multiple coaches on the coaching staff. But that does leave the question. There has been rumors, and I'm hoping they don't come true, honestly, because we don't need more secondary help. But our DB coach worked with AJ Halsey, the LSU safety, when he was with his prior school. What was that school? Let me look it up. AJ Halsey. If this loads, AJ Halsey when he was with it was either when he was with New Mexico or Houston. And the Broncos could select him, and the Cardinals' clock is winding down. They could be a trade-in. So there is a rumor that the Broncos might select A.J. Halsey in the second round, which, I mean, he's a good player, but drafting safety that high, man, it's depending on who else is there, that'd be tough. A tough pill to swallow. I like the player, but I think there are other needs that we need to draft. But that tangent's over. David Bailey is the second overall pick here, and the Cardinals have 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. This was a rumored trade down spot for the Jets, or for the Cardinals. So yeah, the Cardinals, okay, wanted to make sure that's muted. Perfect. The Cardinals have 2 minutes left. This was the first rumored trade down spot, and it is the time is winding down. Obviously, if you can't find a trade partner or you don't like the value of the trade that you're getting, you're going to stick and pick. So we'll see what happens here with the Cardinals. But if they do trade down, I would still think they take Francis Maui-Noa. But the clock is winding down, and there was a rumor that came out before the draft. So we'll see if it comes true or not, because, again, take a lot of things that are coming out with a grain of salt, because there's a lot of smoke screens going on. But if the Cardinals stick here, they'll take running back Jeremiah Love. That was the rumor I saw a couple hours ago this morning, I think at noon Mountain Time. So, could be Jeremiah Love, but you brought back James Conner. Who did you bring in? It's not Dameon Pierce that you brought in. It's Tyler Algier, and the pick is in for the Cardinals. You have Tyler Algier. You brought back James Conner. If this is Jeremiah Love, good for them. I think he's a fantastic player. Got to feel bad for Tyler Algier, though, who left Atlanta because he was behind Bijan just to get drafted by one of these other top generational running back prospects. So, no trade from the Cardinals here at 3. And I would like if it's Jeremiah Love, because I don't want the Chiefs or any of our division rivals to end up with Jeremiah Love. So, we'll see. I had Francis Maui-Noa as the pick, even at 3, but I did a no-trade mock draft. If they traded down, Adam Schefter just said they're sticking at 3 and not trading out, which is obvious now that the pick is in. But could be Jeremiah Love, could be Francis Maui-Noa. I did a no-trade mock draft, as I was mentioning. Still had him as the 3rd overall pick, and then I had Jeremiah Love going to 4. We'll see what happens. Could they? I doubt they go Jordan Tyson. There's also been some rumors maybe he stays in the top 10, or saying that you shouldn't be surprised if Jordan Tyson is still a top 5 pick. But you got Marvin Harrison Jr. I guess you could. You got Michael Wilson out there as well. But I think you go elsewhere than receiver right now. So here is the Cardinals selection at pick 3. So yeah, the Titans are on the clock. Here comes the commish with the Cardinals selection here at pick number 3. Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame. Good for them. Great player. And honestly, not just a running back. He is an offensive weapon. He's going to be a great receiver for the Cardinals. Getting whoever your franchise quarterback help as a running back, as I mentioned in my mock draft with getting Cam Ward, Jeremiah Love, adding a young quarterback if you do trade up for Ty Simpson, getting him a running game to help take the pressure off of him and open up the passing game, and also Jeremiah Love being a dynamic receiver as well. This is a great pick. Got to feel bad for Tyler Algier, though, who left playing behind Bijan Robinson, now to have Jeremiah Love drafted into that same room. But the Cardinals are no longer on the clock. It is going to be the Tennessee Titans. Let me do this, and then we go AFC South Titans. The Tennessee Titans are now on the clock. So yeah, he is the highest drafted running back since Saquon Barkley all the way back in 2018 when he went to the Giants. Jeremiah Love is an Arizona Cardinal. Now, the Tennessee Titans at pick number 4 got a new logo. How are they going to help Cam Ward out? My selection when I did my mock draft last year, my selection was Jeremiah Love. But maybe I flipped pick 3 and 4. Maybe this is Francis Mauigoa. Do you get help for Cam Ward on the offensive line? Don't think that would be a bad idea necessarily. Yeah, and now Mel Kiper's mentioning Ty Simpson. But getting a running back, helping a young quarterback, whether it's Ty Simpson this year or if you draft a quarterback next year, Jeremiah Love is going to help. All right. Okay, here we go. Yeah, got Jeremiah Love. Yeah, dude, he's just such a dynamic playmaker, just a weapon on the offensive side of football. Fantastic receiver, fantastic running back. Would love if his backup in college came to Denver and Jadarian Price. Personally, I like Jadarian Price, but let's focus on that a little bit later. Let's focus on that after the first round, or as the first round is winding down. Plan for tonight is just to watch the rest of this first round, and then afterwards I am going to do I'm going to make a potential mock draft after this for tonight and mention the best players available for the Broncos tomorrow, maybe some trade-up candidates for the Broncos. We'll figure that out as we go on. But for right now, we're just going to sit back, we're going to relax, we're going to enjoy the stream. So, yeah. The Titans have just under 3 minutes to make their selection. Could this be a trade down scenario now that the Cardinals sticking? Oh, nope. The pick just went in. As I said, who are the Titans going to select here? I could see Francis Mauigoa. When you look at the Titans depth chart, let's take a look at their offensive line here. You look at it, they got J.C. Latham. Yeah, Dan Moore is their left tackle, so definitely Francis Mauigoa. I could see, I could see Francis Mauigoa taking over as the left tackle. You got J.C. Latham at the right tackle. Yeah, I wouldn't hate it if you were to go Francis Mauigoa here. Obviously, like I mentioned prior, I had Jeremiah Love going here, but he just went a pick before pick prior. So this could be anyone. This could even be... this could be Jordan Tyson. There was rumors of him going top 5 still. So he could be the pick here. Pair him up with Alec Iromanner. Let's look at let's pull up their depth chart again. Yeah, you got Calvin Ridley, Wan'Dale Robinson, Alec Iromanner. Wouldn't be surprised if they went receiver. I really like, if we pull up my best available, there's Arvell Reese still. Wouldn't be shocked if they went Arvell Reese. My second best player. Caleb Downs is still available. Ruben Bain, Francis Mauigoa, Sonny Styles. Obviously, a lot of guys still available. There's only been 3 picks. But I could see him going a couple different places here. But I think help your young quarterback out. Get him a weapon, or get him, in my opinion, the best offensive lineman in the draft, Francis Mauigoa. I know he had a back injury, but I still think he's a fantastic player. So there's Robert Saleh. There's the Titans. Who is their selection here at pick number 4? Here is the Titans selection. The commish should be walking out any second now. The next trade down spot or the trade spot we're looking at is 6 with the Browns. All right, here is the Titans selection. Carnell Tate. They get a weapon. Wide receiver from Ohio State. Carnell Tate is the first receiver off the board, and I agree with it. I did have Carnell Tate as my top guy. But, yeah, I mean, this is what I said. Get Cam Ward some help. Get a weapon, which they did in Carnell Tate, or get him some more offensive line help with Francis Mauigoa. Carnell Tate is the newest Tennessee Titan here at pick number 4. Jordan Tyson still available, who could have been the top receiver if he hadn't got injured and he didn't have that injury history. But I'm not shocked that Carnell Tate was the first receiver off the board. He was my top receiver even over Jordan Tyson, even if you factor out the injuries. But Carnell Tate, great at tracking the football down the field. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, he was the number 2 receiver at Ohio State. Jeremiah Love is a special player. He's going to be a top 5 pick next year. And you think back to Emeka Egbuka last year and the impact he had early with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he was just fine. So Carnell Tate, yeah, he can eventually be your wide receiver 1, pairing him with Io Manor, Calvin Ridley. Who did you just bring in from the Giants? You brought in Wan'Dale Robinson. But yeah, I think Carnell Tate could be your wide receiver 1 come week 1. But now we get to the New York Giants, who are now on the clock at 5, have 2 top 10 picks after trading Dexter Lawrence to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Giants are on the clock here at pick number 5, and the pick just went in, meaning the Cleveland Browns are on the clock. And here at 6, the Cleveland Browns could that's the next trade spot to watch. It was 3 with the Cardinals. They didn't trade, or they wouldn't trade, or they couldn't find a trade partner. Next is here at 6 with the Browns. And then the next trade spot to watch, according to, I think it was Adam Schefter, would be number 9 with the Kansas City Chiefs. But yeah, there's Carnell Tate, great at tracking the football down the field, great at bringing it in. Fantastic player. Fantastic player. Can create some separation there. Really nice player for the Titans. And honestly, wide receiver use strikes again. Jeremiah Love going to be a top 5 pick next year. Carnell Tate was a top 5 pick this year. You have Emeka Egbuka, who had a dominant rookie season last year. You have Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. You think back to Michael Thomas. There's so many great receivers from Ohio State. Jackson Smith-Njigba, the offensive player of the year. How did I forget about him? He had an awesome year with the Seahawks, won the Super Bowl. So, yeah. Ohio State, they know what they're doing at the wide receiver position. Now, of course, the wide receiver coach, what's his name? He became a head coach somewhere. Let's see here. Brian Hartline, that's who it was. Brian Hartline, who is now the head coach. Where is he? The head at South Florida. He went to South Florida. All right, the Giants here, I have them going Sonny Styles, but wouldn't be shocked with Caleb Downs. He's my top player in this draft, so I have them going with him at 10, which would be even better value, but I wouldn't be shocked if he was the pick here at number 5 for the New York Giants. But But yeah, the Giants pick is in because the Browns are on the clock. We could see a trade here potentially for the Browns. All right, they are cutting to commercial break, and then they will come back with the Giants selection. The Giants, Browns, Commanders, Saints, and then the Chiefs. Those are the next few picks in the draft. And yeah, how are we feeling so far? Mendoza, expected. David Bailey, honestly expected with how things were being reported leading up to the draft. Jeremiah Love, there was that report this morning, so I'm not shocked by it, even though they brought back James Conner, and even though you signed Tyler Algier in free agency. Jeremiah Love is a special player, special prospect. So there's that. And then Carnell Tate to the Titans, good for them. Got to get some offensive line. I guess you got to get a left tackle maybe at some point. But yeah, they're building around Cam Ward. They're helping him out. They're getting him a wide receiver one. So yeah, Carnell Tate, good pick for the Tennessee Titans. I was about to open up my phone to see something, but we're going to leave that closed. We are not going to go ahead and spoil myself, essentially, because I do think I'd see probably the 5th overall pick on whatever I opened up. So we're just gotta leave the phone right there for now. Sorry for hitting the mic. All right. I need to stop saying all right. Just trying to fill in the silence so I'm not sitting here. Wow, guys, I just saw it on the bottom scroll bar. The Cleveland Browns are trading the 6th overall pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. You'd imagine, it was on the bottom, so we'll see, but it was a Schefter update. The Browns are trading the 6th overall pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are coming up. Who are they going to select? We'll see. We'll see. But I did want to mention the trade alert of the Chiefs trading up. So they will be at pick 6. You would imagine they're giving up pick 9. They have 2 first-round picks. I doubt they would give up 29, but I would sure like it if they gave up 29 so they didn't have 2 first-round picks. But no, it's probably going to be 9, maybe a second, maybe a third. We'll see what the official trade package is. I'll see if I can't find the official trade for you guys. Okay. I haven't seen the official trade details yet. I'm sure it'll pop up on the broadcast. I'm not going to go online because I don't want to get spoiled. So, yeah, we're just not going to go on. We're not going to go online. Don't want to get spoiled for any picks. So, when they see when they show the trade, I'm sure when they get the trade info, they'll show it on the screen. So, and they're doing an awesome moment here on the stage before the Giants pick. All right, here is the Giants selection here at pick number 5. Arvell Reese. Edge out of, well, I guess technically a linebacker. I think he moves to edge, but he is going to the Giants. Yeah, this is a great pick. He was gone at this point for me. My number 2 player in the draft. Still have Caleb Downs as my top player. But if the Giants could get him at number 10, getting my personal number 1 and number 2 players in this draft, wow. What a move. What a move. But yes, once again, we'll go on the clock. Let's take the Giants off of him. And it's unfortunate. The Kansas City Chiefs have traded up to number 6. They haven't updated it on the ticker. Shows Browns on the clock, but we did see that the Chiefs traded up. So we do have a trade alert, ladies and gentlemen, at pick 6. Trade alert. The Cleveland Browns are trading the 6th overall pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. You would imagine, I'd imagine they gave up 9, and I hope it's 29, but realistically, it's probably going to be a 2nd round pick, maybe a 3rd round pick. We'll see the package here once it is shown on the screen. But Arvell Reese, man, what a selection. Played off-ball linebacker at Ohio State. Many are selecting him to come off of the edge. But I had Caleb Downs, or I had Sonny Styles here, who I still like. Safety turned linebacker. But you could get him potentially later. You could get Caleb Downs later. I don't know if you could get Arvell Reese later because of the positional value. But the Chiefs pick is officially in after trading up from 9. Man, F the Chiefs. Yeah, for real. For real, Crazy Ray. For real. I hate it, but because they traded up, maybe there's a slim chance they gave up their other first at pick, 29. That's my hope. I don't want them to have 2 first-round picks, but of course we'll see what the package is when it shows up on screen, honestly. Not trying to look online because I don't want to be spoiled. I like seeing the picks live on my screen here, so we'll get the package out there later. But yeah, don't love it. Do not love it. Who did I have the Chiefs selecting? I had the Chiefs selecting at number 9. I had them selecting, I think it was Mansour Delane. Yeah. I had him selecting Mansour Delane, the corner from LSU, or I guess Mansour Delane. That's how it's pronounced. But they could go Ruben Bain. They could go Francis Maui Noah. But yeah, the reason I had Mansour Delane was, yeah, I mean, they lost 2 corners. You traded away Trent McDuffie to the Rams for 29. And then you also lost Jalen Watson to the Rams. So you need some secondary help. Arvell Reese is the 3rd youngest top 5 pick at 20 years old and 236 days since the year 2000. I guess I should clarify that too. All right, but the Chiefs pick is officially in. Can we see the package if possible? All right. All right, here's Adam Schefter with the details. Giving up the 9th overall pick. They're giving up the 9th overall pick. So the Chiefs get the 6th overall pick. The Browns, in exchange, are getting the 9th overall pick, the Chiefs' 3rd round pick, and the Chiefs' 5th round pick. So, unfortunate. I was hoping it was going to be pick 29. It was unrealistic that it was going to be pick 29, but it was that slim chance that the Chiefs were going to give up their 2nd first-round pick. Wish it was their 2nd round pick, but they do give up their 3rd round pick and their 5th round pick. The Chiefs pick is in. About to come in. I had them selecting Mansour Delane, the corner from LSU, because they obviously lost Trent McDuffie, and of course, they obviously lost Jalen Watson as well. We'll see what they do, though, because they did move up. It is still Mansour Delane. They still go corner. They did lose Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson, so they did need corner help. So, what's up, D-Rock? Welcome in. Thank you for joining. So at pick 7, the Washington Commanders are on. Well, actually, their pick went in. So we'll just take the Chiefs off there as fast as possible, and then we will go to the Commanders here at pick number 7. Who did I have them going with? I had them going with Rueben Bain. He was my second best edge, obviously after Arvell Reese. If you do think he's going to move to edge, which I do think he does, wasn't as high on David Bailey, but Rueben Bain here. If you're not concerned with the arm length at pick number 7, yeah, I think that would be my pick. Still, you could go help out Jaden Daniels. Let's take a look at what's the Commanders' line looking like. They obviously drafted Josh Connerly last year. You got Laramie Tunsil at left tackle, so you don't necessarily need Francis Maui-Noah. Who else could you go with here? I like Rueben Bain. If you wanted to go Caleb Downs, I wouldn't mind that. He's my top player in the draft, and with Nick Cross and Quan Martin as your safety, I could easily see that. Who are your linebackers? You got Frankie Louvu, Leo Chenal. Could go Sonny Styles as well. There's a couple different ways that you could go. I would go probably Caleb Downs just because he's my top player in this draft and definitely could upgrade there, but wouldn't be shocked. Maybe do you get Jaden Daniels, another weapon in Jordan Tyson? There's rumors he's still going to go fairly early. And you have Terry McLaurin, but your other receivers are Luke McCaffrey, Treylon Burks, so I could see a receiver going here as well. We will have to see what the selection will be here for the Washington Commanders at pick number 7. Wouldn't be shocked at Rueben Bain, like Caleb Downs as well. We'll see what the Commanders do. All right, they're interviewing Mansour Delane on the broadcast right now. I'm not super high on Lee Hunter. I don't think I would like that personally, but hey, to each their own. All right, Mansour Delane just got done interviewing, and now we are waiting the Commanders pick. Commanders are in their war room. They're waiting for their pick to officially be announced on the broadcast. We'll see who they go ahead and they select at number 7. All right. Believe the commissioner is about to come out for the Commanders pick. All right. He's got a pair of Roger Goodell has 2 Hall of Famers walking out with him. We'll see who they are before the Commanders pick. Still waiting on the Commanders pick here. All right, here's the Commander selection. Sonny Styles. That's a good pick. I like Sonny Styles, especially if you want a covering linebacker, the former safety. Yeah, let me do that. But yeah, great coverage linebacker. A little bit risky taking a off-ball linebacker here, but he's a great player. He was my first draft crush in this entire draft way back. What was it, like week 4 of the season? I really liked Sonny Styles, but his stock just continued to rise. And as the Broncos did better and better this past season, yeah, there was just no way he was going to get to the Broncos. So great player. I thought he was going to the Giants, but instead he goes to their division rival, Washington Commanders. But now we head down to Louisiana with the New Orleans Saints on the clock. That's actually, the pick is in. The pick is in. But in terms of, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not super high on Lee Hunter, so I probably wouldn't trade up for him, but a rumor where the Broncos could potentially, there was a mock draft, I think it was a week and a half ago. Can't remember how long ago, but they had Caleb Banks falling to 62 for the Broncos. I doubt he makes it to 62, but I would be all for trading up for Caleb Banks. I think he's a fantastic player. But we'll talk more about what the Broncos could do as we get later in the draft when more picks are made towards the end of the first round here. But yeah, Sonny Styles is now a Washington Commander. All right. Who did I have the Saints select? I think I had the Saints selecting David Bailey. Yeah, I did, because I wasn't super high on him, even though I kind of figured he was going to go to the Jets. But Ruben Bain is still available. If you're not concerned about the arm length, I think that would be a great pick for the Saints, getting some edge help. Caleb Downs is still on the board, my top player. But yeah, Caleb Downs is my top player in the draft and still top player available. But after him, you have Ruben Bain and Francis Mauigoa, the two Miami teammates, who, I mean, obviously outside of Chris Olave, let's see who the Saints could take at receiver, because there has been rumors, as I've mentioned prior, about Jordan Tyson still going high. Yeah, they got Olave, they still got Devon Vele, and then Mason Tipton as their 3 receivers. Could go receiver here, but they got Kelvin Banks, they got Talise Fuaga, 2 first-round picks the past 2 years. I doubt they go Francis Mauigoa here. I think they get pass rush help with Ruben Bain, if they're not concerned about the arm length. If not, you could go Caleb Downs with, you got Justin Reed and Julian Blackmon as your safety. I like those 2 safeties, so, but I also really like Caleb Downs. But if you're going positional value, it's probably Ruben Bain here. But we are going to commercial before the Saints make their selection at pick number 8. I need to stop touching the microphone because I know that moving it around makes an awful noise when I was editing it. So we'll go ahead and we're going to try and stop touching it. I think we got it at a good spot here. But yeah, we don't need to move it around. Yeah, we're good. All right. Next three picks are the Saints, whose pick is in, the Browns at 9, and the Giants at number 10. All right. Okay. There were commercials going on, and now I get the ESPN just commercial break screen that just popped up. Okay. We'll be back in 50 seconds. That's what it says on the commercial break, and then we will see who. Whoops. Hit the desk. We'll see who the Saints selected at 8 overall. 8th overall. Sorry, I keep moving the mic. I just don't want to be coughing into the mic when I do. I guess I could also just mute it like that. So here we go. We are back. All right. Saints pick is about to be announced by the commissioner. Commissioner is making his way onto the stage. Here is the Saints selection at number 8. All right, here's the Saints selection at 8. Jordan Tyson. They're getting Tyler Shough some more help, which honestly not a bad idea either. Getting him another receiver. They traded away Rashid Shaheed. They still got Chris Olave, but they go with Jordan Tyson. Had a little bit of injury history at Arizona, well, both at Colorado and Arizona State. But a lot of people had him as their top receiver had it not been for the injuries. And I really liked Carnell Tate, but Jordan Tyson is still a very talented prospect and a very talented player. He goes down to the New Orleans Saints at pick number 8. The Cleveland Browns are now on the clock at pick number 9. Let's see here. Let's find. We got to go here and put the Browns on the clock, who traded down with the Chiefs, got some more picks, and now their pick is in, so we'll see who they like here at pick number 9. All right, we'll see who the Saints select here at number 9. The Giants now are on the clock, the Giants are on the clock here at 10, followed by the Dolphins at 11. Yeah, Jordan Tyson's very emotional right now, very happy being drafted. Now, Tyler Shough has some weapons. He has Carnell Tate, or sorry, not Carnell Tate. They're talking about Carnell Tate on the broadcast. Chris Olave, Jordan Tyson. You got Travis Etienne. That's how it's pronounced now. Getting some weapons and helping Tyler Shough out. Have a really nice offensive line with Kelvin Banks and Talise Fuaga as their 2 tackles. Got Cesar Ruiz. Could maybe get some more interior help a little bit, but yeah, they are surrounding Tyler Shough with weapons. Obviously, we're super high on him, drafting him 40th overall last year. But now, they're interviewing Jordan Tyson right now. The Browns pick is in. The Giants are on the clock. We'll see what transpires in these next few picks. The Browns pick is officially in, and so the Steelers fans started to boo. We'll see what the Cleveland Browns do here. I had them selecting Carnell Tate at pick 6. Obviously, he was gone at 4, and the Browns traded down to 9 here. We will see who the Cleveland Browns select here at pick number 9. Giants are on the clock. Would not be shocked if their pick was in with how long this has been taking with the commercial break. But yeah, then it's the Dolphins at 11 who are maybe hoping Mekhi Lumen falls to them. We'll see what happens. Here is the Cleveland Browns selection at pick number 9. Wow, they go Spencer Fano, the offensive tackle from Utah. Again, I wasn't super high on this offensive line class really early, but I'm surprised it's over Maui Noah. Now, I believe Fano was a right tackle, which, by the way, the pick is in now for the New York Giants. Let me get the Browns off the clock here. and then the Giants are on the clock. But I'm surprised it's over Maui Noah. I liked Maui Noah. He was my favorite offensive lineman early, and I really liked him as a prospect. I know a back injury popped up, but Fano over Maui Noah is definitely interesting in my opinion. But now, the New York Giants are on the clock again at pick 10. Their pick is in. They got my top player in the, or my second best player in the draft in Arvell Reese. My top player in the draft in Caleb Downs is still available. So we'll see if they go in that direction. As for the Browns, they went with Spencer Fano, and they're just trying to help Shedeur out. And even if he's not your franchise quarterback, you're setting up your next quarterback for success by building up an offensive line. Could have gone a receiver, but let's see who the Giants select here at pick number 10. Francis Maui Noah. They said, thank you very much, Cleveland. Give us the best tackle in this class. Great pick for the Giants. Great pick for them. I would have thought they might have helped their defense out and got Caleb Downs, pair him up with, who did they sign last year? It was, oh man, this is gonna bug me. Let me pull it up real quick. The former Oregon safety who went to the Dolphins now is the Giants, with the Giants, Javon Holland. They do have Tyler Newman, who they spent a second-round pick on a few years back, so I'm not shocked. Not shocked that it's not him. And now you get a Francis Maui Noah up. Was a left tackle. Might have to move to right. Oh, and we got a trade alert. We have a trade alert. The Dolphins are trading the 11th overall pick to the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys have just traded up right here at pick number 11. Let me switch this on here. The Dallas Cowboys have traded up. This is probably going to be for Caleb Downs right here. This is probably going to be for Caleb Downs. Maybe a little bit surprised that the Dolphins didn't go with Mekhi Lemon, but getting more picks, you are rebuilding. So, yeah, you're getting more picks there. Anyway, Francis Maui Noah was a left tackle at Miami, but you already got Andrew Thomas there in New York. You got Jermaine Illuminor as your right tackle, so Maui Noah doesn't have to start. You could develop him, but he probably is moving to right tackle with, obviously, you having Andrew Thomas right there. But yeah, there was a big discrepancy, at least for my personal rankings. So obviously, if it's different for you, and it's going to be different from consensus, but Maui Noah was my 6th best player in this draft. And then Spencer Fano, who went, right, it was Spencer Fano. It was my 19th best player. So, big discrepancy there. But yeah, Arvell Reese, Maui Noah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Francis Maui Noah is getting interviewed, but Dallas's pick is officially in. But yeah, I would expect this to be Caleb Downs. He was already gone in my mock draft, but oh wow, that's interesting. The Cowboys traded up one spot, so was someone else trying to trade up with Miami? Or is Miami going to select a player they were going to select, who I think is going to be Caleb Downs? But again, I apologize if I'm touching the mic. I know it's a really annoying sound when I do, so I'm trying not to touch it. And if I need to mute it, I just got a mute button right here. But the Cowboys get the 11th overall pick. Dolphins get the 12th overall pick, the 177th overall pick, and 180. Solid value for moving down one spot, getting 2 picks really close to each other. I believe they're both, those are like our 5th, 6th round picks, but still, trading down one spot, getting a couple picks, I don't hate it. But in my mock draft, I did have the Cowboys selecting Dylan Thieneman, the Oregon safety, because Caleb Downs was already gone, and I wasn't doing a trade mock draft. But here, I have a feeling it is going to be Caleb Downs. He's a top player on the board in my eyes, and I know he's the top player on the board for a lot of people as well. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Caleb Downs was the pick right here. I think he would be a fantastic player. Of course, safeties sometimes have, I don't want to say lifespan, but they have a shorter peak of their career. But Caleb Downs is a really, really nice player. We are at commercial break right now, but when we get back, we're going to get the Cowboys pick. The Dolphins are once again on the clock at 12, and then we have the Rams at pick number 13 afterwards. But yeah, if I had to guess, I had the Cowboys selecting Thieneman, but because Caleb Downs is on the board, my guess is going to be Downs here at 11. 12 for Miami, I would say Mekhi Lemon. And then at 13, I had Monroe Freeling, the tackle from Georgia, just because there are some contracts coming up for the Rams on that offensive line. But I could see them going receiver if the Dolphins don't go with Mekhi Lemon. If they do, maybe you trade down and try and get Omar Cooper a little bit later. We'll see how things play out. But the Cowboys are on the clock at pick 11. We are awaiting the draft to come back from commercial break. And it feels like we were just at commercial break, but we are waiting for the Cowboys selection. And honestly, waiting just on ESPN to come back from commercial break. But all right. Here, okay, we're still at commercial break. I thought it was the end of commercial break, man. All right, we are officially back from commercial break, awaiting the commissioner for the Dallas Cowboys selection. Yeah, as we met, okay, it's 2 5th-round picks. 2 5th-round picks for the Dolphins. Great return. Moving back one spot and getting 2 more 5th-round picks. Not bad. Not bad. All right. Here comes the commissioner. My guess is Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs. The safety from Ohio State is headed to the Cowboys. So the 2 players in my mock draft that I had going to the Giants in Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs are actually going to their rivals. Downs to the Cowboys, Styles to the Commanders, but the Giants got 2 nice players as well with Francis Mauigoa and, of course, Arvell Reese. But now, on the clock at pick number 12 is once again the Miami Dolphins. I think they go Mekhi Lemon. Obviously, they traded Jalen Waddle to my Denver Broncos, and their pick is officially in. So I would assume this is going to be Mekhi Lemon, get Malik Willis, Malik Willis some help. But yeah, they also have 30, which we gave them for Jalen Waddle. So they could go receiver later if they like a Casey Concepcion. If they think Omar Cooper is going to fall, maybe they move up a little bit from 30 to get Omar Cooper. Or if they like Jeremy Bernard, or if they like a guy in the second, maybe they could go elsewhere. They could go corner, maybe a Jermod McCoy, who could arguably be the top corner in this draft had he played this season, but he didn't. He was out this entire season with injuries, so we'll see. We'll see, but Caleb Downs, my top player in the draft, goes to the Dallas Cowboys, and the reason that he did fall this far, it's positional value. It is. Safety is not valued super high. Safety, running back, linebacker, and tight end all don't have a super high positional value, so teams will wait to draft those positions in the later rounds because you can get some nice players later and you don't have to spend an early pick and you can spend it more on what they consider a premium position. But Caleb Downs is a fantastic player. I believe he can play in the box. He can play up high. Very fantastic player. Can help support the running game. Can drop back. Yeah, he's a fantastic player. And I just mentioned former Broncos coach Christian Parker is now in Dallas. Yeah, he'll love Caleb Downs. The Dolphins pick is in. I highly expect it to be a receiver. I highly expect it to be Mekhi Lemon, but there are other good players available. You could stay in state, and I guess not necessarily just in state, but in city, and select a player from the Miami Hurricanes with Ruben Bain Jr. If those arm length concerns, if the arm length doesn't concern you, then you could absolutely take him here at pick number 12. They are now interviewing Caleb Downs. Yeah, also the brother of course, Josh Downs of the Colts, who I think a lot of Broncos fans wanted a few years back. But now we await the Miami Dolphins selection here at pick number 12. Mel's talking about the Dolphins going offensive line. They could. Definitely build in the trenches. That would not be a bad idea. The first night of the draft is just the first round. Yeah, that is correct. It's just round 1 on night 1, so we will not be selecting tonight. And then tomorrow, day 2 will be rounds 2 and 3. And then on Saturday, it'll be rounds 4 through 7. So that is correct. Just round 1 tonight. All right, here's the Dolphins selection at pick number 12. Caden Proctor. They listed him as a tackle, but a lot of people are speculating he might move to guard. I had him ranked as a guard. And if that happens for the Dolphins, that's fine. Just build in the trenches, protect Malik Willis. And if Malik Willis doesn't pan out, then protect your future quarterback, whoever that may be. And you can get a wide receiver later. I think you can get some nice wide receiver depth later in this draft, especially with your second first-round pick at pick 30 from us, from the Broncos. You could take a wide receiver there. You could trade up. But yeah, the Dolphins here, they go offensive line at pick number 12. So now we go to the NFC West with the Los Angeles Rams. It's not the new Rams logo. I'm sorry. I know they got a new logo, and their pick is just officially in. But I have him going Monroe Freeling. But now Makai Lemon is off the board. I could see him go, or not off the board. Makai Lemon is not off the board. I could see the Rams going with Makai Lemon, getting another receiver. You got Puka Nacua. You're going to need to have to pay him. You got Devontae Adams, but he is getting up there in age. So you could go ahead and grab another receiver with a Makai Lemon. But if they pass on Makai Lemon, I would not be shocked. So I see either probably Makai Lemon, or I think it's going to most likely be Monroe Freeling, who I did have Monroe Freeling go into the Rams in my mock. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, contract disputes in the first round, or not contract disputes, but there are players on the Rams on their offensive line who are coming up on the final year of their contract, so they could be future-proof in that, or they could get another receiver outside or to complement Puka Nacua whenever Devontae Adams moves on and you have to pay Puka Nacua a lot of money. But Caden Proctor, the offensive tackle out of Alabama, is headed to the Miami Dolphins. Can play tackle, can play guard if you need him to. We'll see what happens, but building in the trenches is never a bad idea, especially in a rebuild. All right, Rams pick is in. We are waiting on him. He's going to have his interview, though, so might be a little bit before the Rams make their selection. Yeah, they're interviewing Caden Proctor right now. Good pick for the Dolphins right there. They're showing Ty Simpson in the green room right now. I do need to update this. Let me update who my top prospects were selected by. Cowboys, Giants. I'm going to color code this later. I might share this as a link for you guys to view tomorrow. But we'll see. Oh, we're at commercial again. Shocker. Jeremiah Love went to the Cardinals. Mendoza went to the Raiders. Ruben Bain has not been selected yet. Maui Noah went to the Giants. David Bailey went to the Jets. Sonny Styles went to the Commanders. Carnell Tate went to the Titans. Kenyon Sadiq hasn't been selected. Jordan Tyson went to the Saints. Kyle Lemon hasn't been selected. Vega Wane hasn't been selected. Mansour Delane went to the Chiefs. Oops. Let's see. Anyone else? Yeah, Spencer Fano. He was selected by the Browns. And then I believe the lowest player that I had, where is he? Caden Proctor right here to the Dolphins. Let's see, we're at pick 13, so. Okay, yeah, we got all 12 picks updated on my big board where they've been selected. Now we await the Rams pick here at number 13. I still have only had one trade so far in the draft, and that was the Chiefs trading up from pick 9 to pick 6 to select Mansour Delane, the corner out of LSU. Got just a minute left of commercial break. I got the big commercial break screen on my computer. And then we will be awaiting the Los Angeles Rams pick at number 13, followed by the Ravens at 14. And I feel like that pick for the Ravens is, well, at least from an outsider's perspective, is fairly obvious. And you go Vega Ioane, the guard from Penn State, the best interior guy in this class. When you need some center and some guard help, Vega Ioane would be a home run pick for you. A lot of teams like the Texans, the Dolphins, Caden Proctor, yeah, that's a good pick because he can play guard, he can play center when you need those positions, when you need tackle and guard. But for the Ravens, Vega Ioane, it would be a slam dunk pick for them at number 14. But yeah, we are back from commercial break, and we have the Rams pick at 13, the Ravens at 14. Hold on, Schefter's talking, and the Buccaneers at 15. Yeah, they got this pick from the Falcons when the Falcons traded up for James Pierce. Schefter just mentioned the Rams have done a ton of work on Ty Simpson, the Alabama quarterback. There was some rumors of that. Sounds like they're trying to get an extension done with Matt Stafford, but Stafford is getting up there in age. So do they develop a quarterback behind Matt Stafford? We will see. Here comes the Rams selection at pick number 13. And I don't think it's going to be Ty Simpson here. All right, here is the selection of the Rams. They actually did it. The Rams went Ty Simpson out of Alabama. They are going to develop him behind Matthew Stafford. Many people thought it was going to be the Cardinals, but they go Ty Simpson. The division rival of the Cardinals gets him. So what do the Cardinals do at quarterback now? Wow. If you're the Cardinals and you wanted him, at least you got Jeremiah Love. At least you got Jeremiah Love. But wow, the Rams get Ty Simpson. I thought if they took him, maybe it was going to be a trade up from their other pick at 29. Well, do they have 29 or do they? I think they still do. I thought maybe they traded away, but I think they still do have it at pick. Oh, that's right. They traded 29 to the Chiefs. That's right. I was like, they didn't have a second first round pick, but I'm surprised there wasn't maybe a trade down. But yeah, he goes to the Rams, and he'll back up Matt Stafford. And a lot of people thought he would go to the Cardinals, but now what do the Cardinals do at quarterback? But now the Ravens are on the clock. We go to the NFC North, and they are on the clock. And I think you got to go Vega Ioane here. Get some interior help Lamar Jackson out, build in the trenches, get the best interior guy. They obviously now have Jesse Minter, the former Chargers DC, as their head coach. Maybe they go a defensive player, but I do think you go with Vega Ioane here at 14 for the Ravens. But man, I still can't believe they took Ty Simpson at 13. I thought if they wanted him, maybe they trade down. But yeah, pick is in now for the Ravens. Wow. Ty Simpson. And it said the Rams called Matthew Stafford to let him know they were selecting Ty Simpson. Not a bad move. Having your successor in place for Matthew Stafford when he is done. But I'm just still, what are the Cardinals going to do? Well, there has been a rumor that popped up today that I saw that Carson Beck sneaks into the first round. I would be shocked. I would be shocked. But we'll see. We will see. Okay, they're interviewing Ty Simpson right now. See, I got a text. Let's see if it's important. All right. Nothing important, luckily, in terms of the text I got. But yeah, Ty Simpson is getting interviewed right now. The Ravens pick is in, and I would expect this to be Vega Ioane, but we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. Because my top center is Connor Liu, but he tore his ACL in the middle of the season, and even if he hadn't, I still think he's a second round guy. So you go with the best interior guy in Vega Ioane. You got Caden Proctor, who can move inside to guard, but yeah, I think you go Vega Ioane here. Go ahead and help out Lamar Jackson. Just rebuild that offensive line. You lost Tyler Linderbaum in free agency to the Raiders. Need a center as well, but take Vega Ioane and help out your offensive line. All right, here comes the commish for the Ravens selection at 14. We'll see what goes on here. Here is the selection for the Ravens. They're booing, obviously, because it's in Pittsburgh, but here's the Ravens selection at 14. It's Vega Ioane. Ovi Vega Ioane. But I'm just going to say Vega Ioane because I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. Okay, I think I spelled it right. I had a double and triple check on there. But there's that, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are now on the clock at pick number 15. All right. Now we go to the NFC South Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we put them on the clock. Let's see. I keep getting some text right now. Yeah, great pick for them. They needed interior O-line help. Vega Ioane, fantastic selection here at pick 15. And the pick is in now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the next pick at the Jets after they select, we'll be halfway through the draft. And I guess we could talk about my plans for after night one of the draft in terms of content, some potential videos coming out tonight. We'll see all that. All right. Of course, we're back at commercial. All right. Still waiting for commercial break to come back. Bucks pick is in. I had them selecting Akeem Mesidor in my draft or my mock, but dude, Ruben Bain is still available. That shocks me. See, I think I got the most recent ones. Let's see here. Vega, Wanning, and Ty Simpson. Yeah. But I had them going with the other edge, Akeem Mesidor out of Miami. But Ruben Bain's still there. The arm length concerns look to be real for many teams. But who knows? Just takes one team. And I hope it's not the Chiefs. I hope they don't trade up from 29. Man, I really don't want them to get Ruben Bain. I still think he's a great prospect. The arm length doesn't concern me personally, but we'll see. Still on commercial, but the Buccaneers pick is in, followed by the Jets at 16 and the Lions at 17. For my mock, I guess we'll go here. I had Akeem Mesidor to the Buccaneers at 15. I had Jordan Tyson to the Jets at 16, but he's gone. So I would probably say Mekhi Lemon if they go receiver at 16. And then I had Spencer Fano, the offensive tackle, going to the Lions, but he's gone. So let's take a look. Who would be my next best tackle? Monroe Freeling. Monroe Freeling is still available. So in my eyes, I would say if we do go based on my mock draft, it would be Akeem Mesidor here. Obviously, like I mentioned, Jordan Tyson is gone. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with the Jets at 16, and then probably Monroe Freeling at 17 if we follow the position of my mock draft. But, well, actually, I don't think it's going to be Akeem Mesidor. I would still say take Ruben Bain here. Take Ruben Bain here. All right, we are back from commercial. Let's see what the Buccaneers do here at pick number 15. They're showing Mel Kiper's best available, but obviously I have a different ranking for these players. Also, Kenyon Sadiq's on the board. I don't want him to go into a division rival of ours as well. So, we'll see what happens, but here is the Buccaneers selection at pick number 15. They are cut into the stage now, and the commish should be walking out any second now. There he comes. There comes the commissioner to announce the Buccaneers selection here at pick number 15. Ruben Bain Jr., the edge out of Miami. Fantastic player. And obviously, there were the arm length concerns, but if that doesn't concern you, take the player. He was so productive with the Miami Hurricanes, and he's going to be a fantastic player in the NFL. But now we move back to the New York Jets. Let's head to the yep, there we go. There's the and their pick is in. Perfect. And I had this being Jordan Tyson. If they do go receiver, best available would be Mekhi Lemon, but I wouldn't be shocked if they went elsewhere. Of course, they went with David Bailey with their first round pick at number 2 overall. Now, where do they go here at pick number 16? This is their first round pick that they got from the Indianapolis Colts when they traded Sauce Gardner over to Indy. Yeah, Ruben Bain won't be going to the Chiefs, thank goodness. Now, well, there's a lot of players I don't want going to the Chiefs, but for me, don't let Kenyon Sadiq fall to the Chiefs or the Chargers. I love Kenyon Sadiq. I think he's a fantastic player at the tight end position. Please, please, please don't let Sadiq fall to them. Yeah, they're showing Ruben Bain. He just has fantastic bend. Arm length concerns, it doesn't really concern me. I know why they have those concerns, but man, he oh my goodness. Fantastic player. Fantastic player for the Miami Hurricanes and now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He gets to stay in state. Can just get after the quarterback. I still think he should have been a top 5 pick. He is fantastic. I'm surprised even if he wasn't a top 5 cuz he would technically wasn't a top 5 player for me. He should have gone top 10. Chiefs can take a punter or a kicker for their second dude, I hope so. I hope so. Or a long snapper. They can take a long snapper at pick 29. How about that? All right, the Jets pick is in. Do I have that up? I do. Perfect. All right, the Jets' second first round pick should be in. All right, Ruben Bain meeting the fans right now. I would assume the commish is going to be coming out soon for the Jets selection at 16, followed by the Lions at 17 and the Vikings at 18. Vikings at 18, I had them going Emmanuel McNeil-Warren and taking the third safety off the board, but Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon is still there. I'm not super high on him personally, but I know a lot of people like Thieneman. He could definitely be the pick for the Vikings who need some safety help. We'll see. If I had to guess, this would maybe be Mekhi Lemon, but we'll see. Kenyon Sadiq. They go. Hey, as long as it's not the Chargers or the Chiefs or the Raiders, that's fine with me. Kenyon Sadiq is a fantastic player out of the University of Oregon. He is going to be a weapon at the tight end position. He is going to be a fantastic receiver for you as the Lions pick just went in. He's going to be a fantastic receiver. He's also going to be a decent blocker. Is he going to be anything crazy as a blocker? No. But he can improve in that area. When you compare him to Eli Stowers, who many other people have as the tight end too, Stowers isn't a great blocker. Sadiq is honestly a decent blocker, but does need to improve, and I do think he will. We'll see. So, obviously, yeah. Would y'all be livid if we went without a tight end or inside? I would. I would, for sure. I think the big 3 positions for the Broncos that we need, off-ball linebacker, we just need a guy back there, specifically someone who can excel in coverage, who's good in coverage right now, or can develop into a good coverage guy. A running back like RJ Harvey, but I think there's some other running backs that we should get into the room as well. And then tight end. I think we need those three positions. But yeah, I would be fairly upset if we didn't end up with those positions. Hopefully, we take both of those positions in the draft. But yeah, I would not be the happiest if we went without those positions. Let's go ahead. Let's get Detroit on the clock now. Let's AFC East, take the Jets off of there. And then we head to the NFC North with the Lions. And then it's their division rival, the Vikings, and then the Panthers at 19. All right. They are going to commercial. So for these next three picks, the Lions, Vikings, and Panthers, I had the Lions going Spencer Fano. He went off the board way earlier than I thought he was. So I would say at 17, the Lions go, if we go same position, Monroe Freeling. I had the Vikings going Emmanuel McNeil Warren, safety out of Toledo. But with Dylan Thieneman still there, I could see them going with Thieneman. And then I had Sadiq going to the Panthers. Don't think any other tight ends sneak into the first round. So let's go take a look at the Panthers roster. See what they could do here. Let's look at my top players available. Let's see. Jordan Tyson. But I don't think they go 3 straight years of taking a receiver in the first round. That would be Xavier Legette, who granted hasn't turned out the best. Tet McMillan, who was the offensive rookie of the year last year. And then Jordan Tyson, if they did go that direction. Or not Jordan Tyson, sorry. Mekhi Lemon. Jordan Tyson went off at 8 to the Saints. It would be Mekhi Lemon if they went receiver. Thieneman, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I had, like I mentioned, Kenyon Sadiq. We'll see what the Panthers do at 19. All right, let's update this. Where did Ruben Bain go? He went to the Buccaneers. Kenyon Sadiq just went to the Jets. Vega Wane. Mekhi. We already did Vega Wane. Mekhi Lemon still available. Freeling, Mesidor. All right. Let's see. Who else do we need to add here? Sadiq and Ruben Bain. Okay, yeah. I thought I didn't update it that recently, but it's still fairly up to date. It's just my Google Drive with my personal prospect rankings, and maybe tonight I'll edit some things up, clean it up, finish another section that I forgot I wanted to make for this draft, and then for tomorrow's draft, maybe I'll link it in the description so you guys can view my personal rankings if you're interested in that, and if not, no worries. Dude, why does this commercial sound... it's a commercial I've seen before, but the audio sounds horrible. Is it my headphones? No. It's just a weird audio frequency with that commercial. All right, we're officially back from commercial break, and they're kind of giving a recap of some of the surprising moments of the draft. Yeah, they're talking about Ty Simpson going 13 to the Rams. Now the Lions pick is officially in. I had them going Spencer Fano, as previously mentioned. He's obviously off the board, so I think it's going to be Monroe Freeling. All right, they got a Make-A-Wish kid for the Lions. Let's go. That's awesome. Awesome to see. Easton making the Lions selection. All right, here's the Lions selection at 17. Blake Miller, the tackle from Clemson, goes. Monroe Freeling, my second best tackle. And again, I wasn't super high on really any offensive lineman early outside of Francis Mauigoa. But wow, Monroe Freeling is falling. Blake Miller's great, don't get me wrong. The Vikings are also on the clock now, or their pick is in. But man, I'm surprised. Many tackles have been taken over him. Typically, when you have rankings, sometimes one or two players of the same position will go over him. But man, a lot of offensive tackles. You look at, let's see, you had Spencer Fano, but he was the number one tackle off the board, which was really surprising for me. Then you had, obviously, Francis Mauigoa, my number one tackle. Caden Proctor, listed as a tackle for the Dolphins, but could kick inside to guard. And then Blake Miller is the third tackle. So, I mean, I don't hate Blake Miller. I think he's a fantastic player. But over Monroe Freeling is surprising in my eyes. And again, I'm touching the microphone with the boom arm. I'm fidgeting with it. I'm sorry. I know that probably makes a very annoying sound. So, I'm trying my best not to touch it. So, I'm sorry about that. And then the Vikings are on the clock. I had them going Emmanuel McNeil Warren in my mock, but that's because Caleb Downs and Dylan Thieneman were gone. Thieneman is still available if they do prefer him over Monroe Freeling. Here is the commissioner to announce the Vikings selection at pick number 18. Caleb Banks, the defensive tackle out of Florida. Yeah, he definitely deserves to be a first-round pick. Obviously, missed or only played in 3 games last year, but he is a fantastic player. There was a mock that had him fall into 62 to the Broncos, and I always thought that was unrealistic. As fun as that would have been, yeah, I highly doubted that was going to be that he was going to make it to the Broncos. But now, because of the decreased time for the first round, the Panthers pick is back in with the NFC South. There we go. I had the Panthers going with, who was it? Kenyon Sadiq. Who do they go? I mean, could they go Monroe Freeling? Do they just help build the trenches around Bryce Young? Obviously, you selected Ike Ekwonu a few years back. Hasn't really panned out as you would expect. I think he's okay. But you could go with Monroe Freeling here. I doubt they go another receiver for the 3rd year in a row. That would be crazy. But yeah, Caleb Banks, fantastic pick for the Minnesota Vikings. And then it's going to be the Cowboys with their second. It's going to be Panthers, Cowboys with their second first-round pick. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers will be on the clock at 21. Showing Mekhi Lemon. Well, we're heading to commercial, but they showed him before heading to commercial. But yeah, I would be shocked if the Panthers went 3 years in a row selecting a wide receiver. Leggett obviously hasn't worked out how you expected him to, but you got Jalen Coker, who has turned out to be pretty nice as a late-round guy, and then you had Ted McMillan, who was the Offensive Rookie of the Year. We'll see. I think they probably go trenches. I would guess Monroe Freeling. That's my guess right now, but Who knows? Who knows? Waiting for the Panthers pick, still in commercial break. All right, let's see here. Blake Miller and Caleb Banks. Let's go ahead. Let's add those two picks in. Fill them in for here. Blake Miller to the Lions. Caleb Banks to the Vikings. Caleb Banks to the Vikings. And then Blake Miller to the Lions. Still on commercial break here. And we're back on the commercial screen for ESPN. We have 1 minute until we come back from commercial break. All right. We are over halfway through the draft. Kenyon Sadiq at pick 16 was halfway through. And we are coming up back on our division rivals picks. The Chargers are sitting at 22 and the Chiefs at 29. So we got two more division rival picks tonight, assuming the Raiders don't trade back into the first round. We'll see. And I guess assuming also that they don't trade back, our division rivals. But we are now back from commercial break. The Panthers pick is in. We will see where the Carolina Panthers are going at pick number 19. All right, here's the Panthers selection at 19. Monroe Freeling. There he is. My number 2 tackle. And honestly, like I mentioned 1,000 times, I was not super high on this early offensive line class. But here at 19, I kind of like the Monroe Freeling pick with how many tackles were picked before him and where he was ranked for me. I do like this pick for them. And we have a trade alert. The Dallas Cowboys are trading the 20th overall pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the first, I mean, this has happened multiple times now within the past few years. Back in 21, the Cowboys did it, and they made another interdivisional trade. Okay. Shocked it's an interdivisional trade. If I was the Cowboys, I don't know if I would trade with Howie Roseman, but okay. Yeah, you do you, Jerry. You do you, Jerry. But here is the Eagles pick. Well, the pick is in. There we go. Monroe Freeling is the newest Panther, protecting Bryce Young and getting some help on the trenches. He's going up from Georgia. Played in Georgia, but he's traveling upward to Carolina. Here is the Eagles, who still can't believe it was another interdivisional trade, but we'll see. Here's the Eagles selection at 20. Makai Lemon, the wide receiver out of USC. Well, A.J. Brown, I mean, there's a lot of reports that A.J. Brown is going to be traded to the Patriots. So I feel like that kind of confirms that he's going to be traded to the Patriots. So now you're pairing Makai Lemon up with Devontae Smith. All right, 21. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the hometown team, is now on the clock. The Eagles the Eagles are in-state rivals. The two Pennsylvania teams picking back to back. Let's go ahead. Let's take the Eagles off the clock. Let's go AFC. Let's go North, and let's get the Steelers on there. I want to watch the scroll wheel because we are adding more this year with the colleges. I want to make sure that we aren't at the character limit because after a certain point, the words just stop scrolling. So we have to go round by round in the past. And sometimes you got to delete part of the round when you get into like the fourth, fifth round with a lot of compensation picks. We'll see. But here is Makai Lemon is the pick to the Eagles at 20. So top three receivers are now off the board. Lemon went a lot later than I thought he was going to go. But yeah, here we go. So far, the scroll wheel is looking good here on the bottom. And yeah, here we are. The Pittsburgh Steelers are now on the clock. Obviously, Lemon had that very strange combine interview that I think a lot of us... trading spots within the division is sinister. Yeah, for real. If the Broncos traded with the Chargers, Raiders, or Chiefs, I'd be frustrated. I would be very frustrated to say the least. I don't care what kind. Well, I mean, if you're fleecing them, then sure. But if you're only picking up a couple picks, it's like just don't help your division rival out at all. I don't like it. But like I was saying with Makai Lemon, had that very strange combine interview, but a very talented player out of USC. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have 1:20 left. Their pick is not in. Still could be in, but are they looking for a trade as well, potentially? Yeah. Makai Lemon just fantastic at coming down with the football. But the Steelers now have less than a minute to make their selection. Could potentially be working out a trade with a team, potentially moving back. We'll see. Does the hometown team for this draft stick and pick, or do they trade out? They stick and pick. Their pick is officially in. Yeah, Dallas letting Philly grab Makai Lemon is crazy work. But Dallas did the same thing when they drafted Devontae Smith. So only if the Eagles are selecting a receiver, the Cowboys let them trade up. But I'm shocked. I would not have helped them out, but who knows? I don't have the trade package. I'm not going on Twitter or anywhere to get spoiled. So we'll see if the trade package pops up. At least I didn't see the trade package popped up. I was too busy talking. We'll see where they go. All right, but the Steelers pick is in. The crowd just saw it. Here is the Steelers selection at pick number 21. They're playing a little video for the hometown crowd, which happens for every city that it's in. It was in Green Bay last year. It was in Detroit the year before that, and Kansas City the year before that. So, yeah, they're getting the Steelers fans hyped up for their selection, which should be coming any minute now. All right, pick is in for the Steelers. Believe they got a Pittsburgh band playing right now. So we'll see their selection here in a second. I think we're cutting. Are we cutting to commercial? No, we're not. They're just cutting out to the drone cam. So it's like a mini concert right now. Yeah, they're doing a montage. The montage said the Pittsburgh Steelers select, and I was like, wow, are they just announcing it right now? But no, they're just vibing out here. You know, watching this, it makes me think if the draft was held in Denver, would I go or would I do my stream? I love doing the streams, but I don't know. I might go to the draft in person. I don't know yet. Obviously, I would be a couple years away, but we'll see. The pick is in. Here comes Roger Goodell with a bunch of the local high school kids, which happens in every city, which is really cool. Where do the Steelers go here? I had them selecting Omar Cooper. By the way, the Chargers are on the clock after this pick. You got to go. That's what I'm thinking. That's what dude, it would be so much fun to be in person celebrating with all the fans there. I would love to go. It's like once in a lifetime event, especially since what we started doing the draft moving around in 2017 and we haven't duplicated city. Oh, here's the selection. Max Ionaker, the tackle from Arizona State. And honestly, I know I said I wasn't a huge fan of the offensive tackles early, but Ionaker, he Ionichor, however you say it, he obviously started to grow on me. I started to like him late in the draft process. Obviously, it was after the Broncos traded away their first round pick, but great pick for the Steelers right there, pairing him up with what's their other tackle let's see. One sec. We'll get back to what I was talking about with going to the draft in person. But let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're pairing him up with Troy Fautanu and Broderick Jones, two first-round picks they spent in the past few years, but they're building in the trenches. And now, the Broncos offensive division rivals are now on the clock in the Los Angeles Chargers. I had them selecting Caden McDonald, the run stopper out of Ohio State. Wouldn't be shocked if they went for Omar Cooper Jr., though, because it sounds like they want to upgrade their wide receivers, adding to that room with Ladd McConkey. Keenan Allen's getting up there in age. You have Quentin Johnson, who's but we'll see what the Chargers do here in a second if they don't trade down and their pick just came in. But yeah, like I was saying for the draft, we haven't duplicated cities since we started taking it out and moving it around out of Radio City Music Hall. Starting in Chicago in 2017, we haven't duplicated a city. So for 1 year, I might just go. Probably would do the stream on day 3. Well, it would depend on what everything looks like, but I would love to go. I would love to go. Hopefully, the Broncos have a first round pick in that draft, which, not complaining. Love Jalen Waddle. I would trade the 30th overall pick for Jalen Waddle 10 out of 10 times. But as a draft geek and a draft fan and someone who loves the draft, takes it off for work every single year, I would just hope that we would have one, because obviously the later round, day 3 is the most important day of the draft, because you get you get those gems, you get those depth pieces, you get the most players added to your roster on those days. But day 1 is obviously the sexy day when those top evaluated players get added to your team. And so there's that. But yeah, I would love to go. I would love to go. Hopefully one in Denver gets announced, but we'll see. We'll see. I think next year's has already, well, it's obviously been announced. They have to start planning, but I can't remember if 2028 has been announced yet. I know they're going to probably announce one during this draft at some point. We'll see. But the Chargers pick is in. Where do they go? I had them selecting Caden McDonald. Could go Akeem Mesidor. He's fallen. Someone who I really like. A little bit older of a prospect, but I don't really care, in all honesty. Especially after how we hit with Bo Nix. Yeah, I really don't care how old the prospect is. We'll see where they go. Could go Omar Cooper Jr., as I mentioned. Let's see where our division rival Los Angeles Chargers are going with their selection at pick number 22. Akeem Mesidor. Good pick for them. I really like Akeem Mesidor, the edge out of Miami, so that is a bit unfortunate. Older of a prospect, but I don't care. He's a fantastic football player, complemented by Ruben Bain, maybe a little bit overshadowed by Ruben Bain. Akeem Mesidor is a fantastic player, helping their edge rush out. Let's see who they have as their edge rushers in LA. I know they have Tui Tuipulotu. But who else do they have? Tui Tuipulotu. They have Khalil Mack, but he's obviously getting up there in age. Bud Dupree's getting up there in age. They have Kyle Kennard. There's a second-year player for them. So, yeah, I don't mind Akeem Mesidor. Having him and Tui Tuipulotu, that's unfortunate for Broncos fans, but that's a great pick, honestly, for the Chargers. And I hate to say it. But the Dallas Cowboys are back on the clock. The Cowboys have 4 minutes, 20 seconds to submit their pick. It is the Cowboys for their second first-round pick. They selected Caleb Downs earlier. Then the Cleveland Browns at 24, who previously selected Caleb Lomu earlier. And then you've got the Chicago Bears at 25. So I believe in my mock draft, obviously I did no trades. It was Dillon Thieneman with their first pick for a safety. They went Caleb Downs. With their second first-round pick, I had them going with Jermod McCoy, the Tennessee cornerback, getting some more defensive help for them. And Jermod McCoy could easily have been the top corner in this draft had he played his 2020, or not 2024, but his film from last season. Yeah, so 2024 was fantastic. And if he put up the same pace and performed the same, could have easily been the top corner in this draft. Of course, missed this entire season, but yeah. Cowboys need some defensive help. Would not be surprised if it was Jermod McCoy here. Now, like I mentioned, there's been 3 minutes, or there's just above 3 minutes for the Cowboys selection here at 23. They could be looking for a trade down partner. We'll see what happens there. Or, yeah, I mean, just because it's taking forever doesn't mean it's a trade down, but you always speculate it because you're trying to work out a deal with another team. We'll see who makes the selection here. But the Cowboys still isn't, their pick isn't in. I'll let you know when it's in. We are at commercial break, but we're not waiting on a pick The past few commercial breaks, all the picks have been in. It's been backlogged a few times. This time, we're waiting on the Cowboys. So, commercial break here isn't the end of the world for me. Now, if it goes to that ESPN commercial break is on and it takes away the bottom scroll bar, I'll be a little up. Okay, now they can do that if they want because the Cowboys pick is officially in here at 23. I think you got to go defense here. Jermod McCoy would be a fantastic value. You selected Siobhan Revel, who had an injury out of East Carolina, who was projected a first-round pick until he got injured. So, yeah, Siobhan Revel, you already have him. Could get another cornerback who was injured with Jermod McCoy. Edge has kind of fallen. Caden McDonald is available if you want to go defensive line. Let's see here. Let's look at my rankings. Caleb Banks went, but Caden McDonald and Peter Woods and even Christian Miller, who I like in the first round, all still there. And then if you wanted to go edge, there's a couple guys. Keldrick Falk, who I'm up and down on. TJ Parker, who has an elite last name. Cassius Howell, who I'm not high on. You could go that direction. Linebacker. Could it be Jacob Rodriguez? I was watching an interview with a Texas Tech player, and he said he knows the Cowboys really like Jacob Rodriguez. He's my second best off-ball linebacker, so it would be a great pick for the Cowboys. I would be a little bit upset because I want the Broncos to trade up tomorrow to get Jacob Rodriguez. That's how much I like him as a prospect, but I definitely think he deserves to go in the first round for sure. We'll see. Plus, Jacob Rodriguez is my 18th best player in this draft. We'll see where the Cowboys go there. We are officially back from commercial break. Showing Mel Kiper's best available. I definitely think it's got to be defense for Dallas. Your offense was fine last year. Sign George Pickens to an extension. Help out your defense. You already did with Caleb Downs, but continue to help them out. Jermod McCoy was my selection here in my mock with their second first-round pick, but let's see. All right, here is the Cowboys selection at 23. Malachi Lawrence. Wow. I know a lot of people. Wow. Let me make sure I'm spelling that right. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, out of Central Florida, I know a lot of people had him in the first. I did not have him in the first, if I'm being completely honest with you. I thought he was a second-round guy. I wasn't super high on Cassius Howell, but I would have taken him over him. I would have taken TJ Parker, and I would have taken Keldrick Falk over him. But, of course, my opinion doesn't mean anything to these NFL teams. And if these NFL teams have higher grades on these guys, go for it. Because sometimes you hit, and I could look very stupid in a few years when I said Malachi Lawrence should be a second-round pick. So we'll see what happens. But Malachi Lawrence is the pick for the Dallas Cowboys here at 23. At 24 now, we have the Cleveland Browns back on the clock. They took Caleb Lomu, who I thought was a little high at the time. I wasn't as high on Caleb Lomu apparently as the Browns. But they are back on the clock here. They got 4 minutes to make their selection. I had them in my mock draft, the Browns taking Carnell Tate, but he was not available with their first pick. And then with their second round pick, I had them going with Max Ionaker, the offensive tackle out of Arizona State. But they went the tackle early in Caleb Lomu, and their pick is officially in. So, could this be a receiver? And I think right now is tremendous value for Omar Cooper. I like Denzel Boston. I wouldn't hate that. But you're helping out your franchise quarterback, whether that's Shedeur or not, with Caleb Lomu, and then get him a weapon. Get him a weapon. We'll see. We'll see what happens with the Browns. We are back. We're back in commercial break. But we got the Browns here, whose pick is in. The Bears at pick 25, and then Buffalo at 26. Those are the next 3 picks. Yeah, so we got Browns, then Bears, then Bills, then Niners. And by the way, did I say Lomu Ufano? Because I know there's 2 tackles. It should be Spencer Fano, right? Or was it Lomu? Oh my goodness, I can't. We'll see. Let's see the scroll bar. Anyway, the Browns went tackle. And also, I need to I need to adjust that Sonny Styles pick instead of the school. I have Sonny Styles. I just realized that. Oh my gosh! But yeah, Spencer Fano was the pick for the Browns. Let me fix that. Let me fix that. Instead of the school, it says Sonny Styles, where the school should be Ohio State. There we go. All right. Browns at 24. Here we go. Oh man, they're showing a horror movie commercial on the screen. I don't want to watch it, man. I hate it. I hate when they show horror movie commercials on the screen. Hate it. But by the way, I hope the stream has been fine. Again, I've been dealing with some internet issues. They've been upgrading the internet in my area. We got a minute left of commercials. And so my internet's been up and down all day. I'm hoping the stream was fine and it hasn't been crashing and going up and going down. We'll see if it has. That sucks, but I don't think it has. Everything's looked good on my end. I haven't been gotten a notification that the stream has been going down, but yeah, I think we're good here. 30 seconds until we're back from commercial to see the Cleveland Browns selection. Where do they go? I had them going receiver, then tackle. They went tackle. Now maybe they go receiver with Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana, the national champion. Could go Denzel Boston if they wanted pure X jump ball type of receiver. We'll see. We'll see where they go. We are officially back from commercial. This 24th pick is from the Jags when the Jaguars traded up for Travis Hunter last year. Browns pick is in. It should be announced here in just a second. Here is the Browns selection at 24. They go KC Concepcion. Good for him. I know a lot of people liked KC Concepcion, and I thought he was a first-round pick, but I had him under a few guys. I will not lie to you. But I do think he deserves, and this is not a bad spot for him, KC Concepcion. He can be a nice returner for the Browns. A little bit smaller, but yeah, he's a good receiver. Now the Chicago Bears are on the clock. Bears have just under 3 minutes to submit their pick, but yeah, KC Concepcion, A lot of people liked him for the Broncos when we saw pick 30 to be kind of a Marvin Mims replacement. And if we had pick 30, we wouldn't have him. But it's fine. I like Marvin Mims. I want to re-sign him. The impact that he's already made, he's already been an all-pro returner. Keep him on the roster. Utilize him more, too. He's your gadget guy. We got to utilize him more. But, yeah, good for Casey Concepcion. I had a couple of guys over him still. But I do think he is a first-round pick. He is a first-round pick, so good for the Browns. They're helping out their future franchise quarterback. Whether that is Shedeur Sanders or another guy, we will see. But the Browns go Spencer Fano and Casey Concepcion. Bears just under 2 minutes. Could be trading the pick. Again, doesn't have to be trading the pick. And I'm sorry, I'm moving the mic again. Hands are off. Hands are off. And the Bears pick is in. I got a kind of mini commercial where they pull up a screen, but they still have the live feed on the screen as well. So we got a commercial right now, and then the Bears selection will probably be in here at pick 25. All right. And now they just went to a full-on commercial. What are we doing? What are we doing, broadcast? Just go to a full commercial break. Don't do that mini one. Come back for a second and go to a full commercial break. What are we doing? Come on. Got to drag it out. Of course they do. Obviously, they got to make their money. Now, I mean, it's expected. It's expected during the draft. It happens. I love the suspense of the draft, and typically I like the length of the draft, especially when your team's picking in the first round. Then you're kind of seeing the players who are. I mean, we do have picks, right? But if you have a pick in the first round, you see the picks going above you, and you're like, oh, I'm hoping this guy falls, and you get a little nervous about the players going. Not really feeling that right now because we still pretty much got a full round ahead of us, barring a trade up tomorrow. So we'll see. But yeah, I enjoy it. The commercials can be annoying, but I enjoy the draft. I love it. All right, should be coming back soon. Nope, we got one more commercial at least. Got 8 picks left, and honestly, this draft has been moving a lot faster. Obviously, they did cut 2 minutes off of each pick, going from 10 to 8 minutes in between selections, which cuts off 64 minutes, plus the commercial breaks that would have been in between there and the dragging out. So it does cut off over an hour, shrinking the picks, which is nice. But yeah, we're cruising. We're cruising. We'll see what happens with the Bears. They surrounded Caleb Williams with a ton of talent last year. Obviously, getting Joe Thuney last year from the Chiefs. You got Luther Burden. You got Colston Loveland. Do they help their offense and surround Caleb Williams with even more talent and riches? They did trade away DJ Moore. Or do they help out their defense? Let's see. Here's the Bears selection at 25. Dylan Thieneman. Let me spell this correctly. Former Purdue safety transferred to Oregon. A lot of people thought he was going to go a lot higher. But again, safeties fall. Safeties fall because of their positional value. This is great. This is some great value for Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon. Heading to the Chicago Bears, getting some help on that defensive side of the football. Now, we moved on to the clock. The Buffalo Bills. Where do they go? They addressed receiver and free agency. They traded for DJ Moore. Where do they go? Who did I have? I had them going Caleb Banks, but Caden McDonald is still available. Peter Woods, if you wanted to go that direction. I still think Caden McDonald, he's my number one defensive lineman, interior guy in this draft, if you go that way. Got some edge rushers still available. Got Keldrick Fall, Cassius Howell, TJ Parker. So there's some guys out there. We'll see what the Bills do. Do they double dip at wide receiver? Do you take Omar Cooper Jr.? And do you have DJ Moore? Do you have Omar Cooper Jr.? And then, of course, do you have Khalil Shakir as well? We'll see what happens with the Buffalo Bills here in just a second. But Dylan Thieneman, honestly, a great player. My Oklahoma State Cowboys had to play Oregon this year, and he was a monster. He was pretty good. He was pretty good. Now the Bills are on the clock. We got a trade alert. The Buffalo Bills are trading the 26th overall pick to, who are they trading it to? The Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are now on the clock. And where do they go here? I would suspect offensive lineman. I had them going Caden Proctor, but he went a lot higher than expected. The Texans get picked 26 and 91 from the Bills, and Buffalo gets 28, 69, and 167. Okay. Trade alert is off. But yeah, the Houston Texans are on the clock. They got 5 minutes to make their pick. Let's see. Who are the top offensive linemen out there? Okay. The pick is officially in. Let's see here. In terms of offensive line, the best tackle still available for me is Caleb Lomu, the other offensive tackle from Utah. If they don't go him, Jennings Dunker, but I think he's more of a second-round guy. And then interior, if you want to go with a guard, I would say Emmanuel Pregnon would probably be the guy. If they go interior. They could go defensive line too. I think they should go offensive line, help CJ Stroud out, especially after trading away offensive linemen after every year with him. But if they do go defensive lineman, Caden McDonald, Peter Woods would be some guys. But if I'm gonna guess, I would say, I'm gonna say Caleb Lomu or Emmanuel Pregnon. All right. Dylan Thieneman's interview is over. We got the Texans pick in. Then you got the Niners at 27, and honestly, could jump the Niners for taking an offensive lineman, because I did have the Niners drafting an offensive lineman for life after Trent Williams, and honestly, to pair with Trent Williams. And then it still says Houston at 28, but I'd imagine that it's going to be Buffalo at 28. I think that's what we said was the trade. So let's see here. Let's see if the Texans go offensive line. Here's their selection at 26. Keelan Rutledge. Interesting. I didn't have him as a first round pick, but I do think I would have gone Emmanuel Pregnon if I would have gone guard, but good for the Texans for helping out CJ Stroud and getting him some offensive line help. And the 49ers are trading the pick, just as I typed it in. The San Francisco 49ers have traded the 27th pick to the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are now on the clock. I'm not going to even put on the clock. I'm just going to have their pick be in. I would highly suspect this is going to be Omar Cooper Jr. Get Malik Willis a weapon. The Dolphins trade pick 27. The Dolphins get 27, and the 49ers gets pick 30 and pick 90. So it says they have 7 minutes left. The Dolphins do, but their pick is going to be in after trading up. And it says the pick is in on the stage behind it, but on the ticker in the bottom left, the pick still hasn't officially been in, but the pick is going to be in. I would suspect this should be Omar Cooper Jr. Or if you want to get a pure X, if you want to get that prototypical X jump ball receiver, you could go Denzel Boston here. But I would suspect it's going to be a wide receiver after trading Jalen Waddle to my Denver Broncos and to most people's Denver Broncos who are watching this stream. But yeah, I would highly expect this to be a receiver for the Miami Dolphins. I had them going Mekhi Lemon at, 11? And then, let's see what I had them going. I had them going Avian Terrell corner, but they went offensive line to help out Malik Willis, which I don't hate. So I guess they could go corner here. I don't think you trade up for a corner. I love Jermod McCoy. Don't think you do it. Like Avian Terrell, but I think you could have gotten him at 30 like I had in my mock draft. So we'll see. I think this is probably going to be a weapon. How many trades have happened so far? Let's see. Let me scroll through here. You had the Chiefs trading up for Mansour Delane, so that's one. You had, let's see. There haven't been many. You had the Eagles trading up for Mekhi Lemon. And then you just had Keelan Rutledge and Miami trading. So I believe 4 trades. 4 trades, but don't quote me on that. There might have been another one that I'm forgetting. Oh, and then the Cowboy. Oh no, yeah, we already talked about that trade when the Cowboys traded interdivision for some reason. So I think there's 4. I think there's been 4 trades tonight, but might be one more that I'm forgetting. Let me scroll through here again. Yeah, I think 4. I think we just had the 4th one. All right, got 45 seconds left on commercial break before the Miami Dolphins select their pick here at 27. And then yeah, and we're kind of cruising. We're kind of cruising. Got 5 picks left after this. So 6 more picks, and then we're on to day 2 where the Broncos will be making their first pick at 62, barring a trade up or a trade down. Back from commercial break. Dolphins pick is in. Let's see where they go. All right. Here should be the Miami Dolphins selection at 27. Wow, they go Chris Johnson, the cornerback out of San Diego State. I know a lot of people were higher on him than I was, but I'm surprised it's not Jermod McCoy. And if you are concerned about the injury from last year, I'm surprised it's not Avian Terrell, but it's the San Diego State cornerback Chris Johnson going to the Dolphins here. And at pick 28, the Buffalo Bills are back on the clock. And the pick is now in for the Buffalo Bills. We'll adjust that in just a second. But yeah, I'm surprised it's not a receiver. You're not helping Malik Willis out unless you like the wide receiver slipping. If you like the value later, you can. It's like Denzel Boston and Omar Cooper Jr. might make it out of the first round. We'll see if that does happen. Oh man, if Omar Cooper Jr. makes it out of the first round. Oh, the Bills, we got another trade alert. The Bills are trading the pick to what's with the interdivisional trades? The Patriots are now on the clock. The pick is in for the Patriots. What's with it? But I was saying, if Omar Cooper Jr. makes it out of the first round, I would assume he might go to Vegas to pair Fernando Mendoza and Omar Cooper Jr. back up together. But for the Patriots, I don't think it's a receiver because I'm pretty sure you're going to get A.J. Brown. But T.J. Parker was my pick in the mock, and we'll see what happens because we're in the range where all the values of the guys who are projected as true first-round talents are probably off the board. So they can be as high as, I think it was like 23 or as low as 45, and they could be interchangeable on some teams' boards. So we'll see. But 2 interdivisional trades in this draft. The Eagles and Cowboys trading, and now the Bills and the Patriots trading. I hate interdivisional trades. But here we go. Here's the Patriots selection at pick number 28. They go Caleb Lomu. They're helping out Drake May, getting him another tackle to pair up with Will Campbell. So the Bills trade the 28th overall pick to the Patriots for the 31st overall pick and the 125th overall pick. Is it worth moving down, 3 spots for the 125th overall pick? If it's a division rival, I'm making them pay more. But that could just be me. How do you guys feel about it? I would have made them pay more. We'll see. All right, back on the clock are the Kansas City Chiefs, and with how this day's going, if the Chiefs trade, it's going to be to another AFC West team. No, but seriously. Both of the Utah tackles are fantastic, but I know it's only 3 spots, but with a division rival, I'm making them pay more than pick 125. I'm making them give me one of their other top 100 picks, but the Chiefs pick is officially in. Who do I not want them to select? Let's go through my big board. Who do I not want them to select? Would not love Omar Cooper Jr. there. Well, I probably won't like most players that the Chiefs draft there. Kansas City, let's just go long snapper here. Let's go long snapper. How about that? Let's get that long snapper going, KC. We're back on commercial break. I guess while we're at commercial break, I'm going to make sure the scroll bar at the bottom of the screen is displaying the full round because I have made changes this year, including the college that these players went to. So there is a point where it will continue to scroll, but it will just start cutting off extra letters after a character capacity for the message. So, and it doesn't show me how long the characters are, so we'll see. We continue to scroll here. We need to make it all the way to pick 29. Just make sure it's all functioning okay, and it can fit a full round with the colleges in here. Round 2, round 3 will be fine tomorrow, and then day 3, I don't know if we'll make it through a full round with all the comp picks. Might not even make it through round 3 with the comp picks, but we'll see. All right, Dylan Thieneman, we're at 26 now. Buffalo. Oh, and I still have it as Buffalo. Okay, yeah, we still do, but we need to change Buffalo to New England. Let's see, New England. All right, still waiting for commercial break. Then the Chiefs' second first-round pick, followed by the 49ers at 30, the Bills at 31, and the Seahawks at 32. Got 4 picks tonight, and then we will be preparing for day 2. So after the stream, going to take a little break, going to eat, going to refuel, but then I'm going to publish a video at some point. It might be released super early in the morning, like talking 1, 2, 3 a.m., sometime around there. We're going to recap the first round, and then we're going to go over prospects that I'd like the Broncos to trade up for. But then we'll go players that could be available at pick 62. If we stay put at pick 62, we'll just do a couple. We're not going to do a whole lot because we could do a lot of players, and then we'll do maybe one final mock draft like following the first round. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for tonight. So prepare for that video. Hopefully, if it doesn't get released, then sorry, but that's the plan currently right now. All right, here is the 29th pick by the Chiefs. We're back from commercial break. Which long snapper are the Chiefs going to select here at pick number 29? All right, the commissioner should be walking out any second now. Oh, the 49ers. We got a trade alert. The 49ers just traded down from pick 30 with the New York Jets. We'll talk about that trade after the Chiefs announce their selection. Man, this is going to be Omar Cooper, isn't it? It's going to break my heart. Let's see. Peter Woods. They go the defensive tackle out of Clemson. He's a good player. I still had Caden McDonald over him as my top offensive tackle. It was Caden McDonald, then Caleb Banks, then Peter Woods. He's a good player, but hey, he's a good player. He's worthy of a first round pick in my eyes, but I'm not absolutely, I would say, heartbroken about this selection. Good player. I'm not denying that, but I wouldn't say I'm heartbroken at one of the players who I would say I was in love with. Had the Broncos still had the 30th overall pick. But the pick is in for the 49ers. Wait, we got the trade alert. The San Francisco 49ers are trading the 30th overall pick. We saw this to the New York Jets for their third first-round pick tonight. We will just go ahead. We'll take off the trade alert. We'll go here. We'll take the Chiefs off of here, and then we'll go to the AFC East. And let's see. The Jets, they went, obviously, David Bailey at pick number 2. And then where is their other selection? Who did they select? Kenyon Sadiq. I loved that pick. Where do they go? I had them selecting another receiver. Could this be Omar Cooper? We will see. But we got the Jets pick in here. Then we got the Buffalo Bills at 31 if they decide to stick and pick. They've traded back twice. And then we've got the Seattle Seahawks at pick 32 to round out the night. So, yeah, the Chiefs help out their defense getting Mansour Delane, or I guess Mansour is how you pronounce it, at pick 6. And then you take Peter Woods at pick number 29. Now, we're waiting for the Jets. Pick is in. Commissioner could be coming out here in just a second. Let's see. Are there any players I'm surprised that are still available? Yeah, Jermon. Well, I'm not surprised Jermon McCoy is still available just with the injury, but Caden McDonald out of Ohio State, Omar Cooper out of Indiana. Those 3 are still available. One guy who I like, but I'm not surprised he's not off the board because I'm higher than him than a lot of people, is Jacob Rodriguez. I have him as my 18th best player in this draft. Love Jacob Rodriguez. But let's see. Who will the Jets select with their third first-round pick of the night? All right, here's the 30th overall pick for the Jets. Omar Cooper Jr. He's not going to be a Raider tomorrow. He wasn't a Chief. He is now a New York Jet, pairing up with Garrett Wilson. Now, they got to find themselves a quarterback because Geno Smith ain't going to be it. But Garrett Wilson doesn't have to carry that receiving staff by himself. And you got Kenyon Sadiq. Building a solid core for whoever your future quarterback's going to be. Of course, you have the tackles. You have, who was it out of Penn State that I liked? What's his name? His name's on the tip of my tongue. And then you got the Missouri tackle last year. Let me see, because it's going to annoy me if I can't think of their names. You have, you got Armand Membu, and you got Olu Fashanu. I like that. You got the trenches. You're working on the trenches. Getting the weapons with Kenyon Sadiq and Omar Cooper Jr., and then you're getting some pass rush for your defense. I kind of like how the Jets draft is going. I would have gone Arvell Reese still at 2, but you can't hate getting the best pass rusher in the Jets' eyes to actually affect the quarterback and to hopefully force some interceptions in the future, because they obviously didn't get any interceptions this past year. But now, the Buffalo Bills are on the clock, and I feel like it's important to put on the clock because they have traded down twice so far. Do they stay in the first round, or do they trade out of the first round like the San Francisco 49ers did? We got pick 31, which is currently held by the Buffalo Bills, and pick 32, which is currently held by the Seattle Seahawks. Those are the final 2 picks, and then round 1 is over. Faster than normal. But again, we're shaving off over an hour, cutting the first round timer from 10 minutes to 8 minutes to make a selection. Oh. So the Buffalo Bills have once again traded their pick. They traded out of the first round. Apparently, it is the Tennessee Titans now on the clock. They got Carnell Tate earlier in the first round. And again, this is, or I guess not again, but this is not the Titans' new logo. This is logos from a few years ago when I made this. But the Tennessee Titans pick is now officially in after trading with the Bills. The Bills have traded out of the first round like the 49ers did. So it's the Titans pick here at 31 and then the Seahawks pick at 32. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, we got the trade alert. the graphics popping up really, really late. The Buffalo Bills trade the pick to the Tennessee Titans. And we'll see if a Schefter blurb pops up to see if we can see the details on the trade. All right. The pick is in for the Titans. They just mentioned Keldrick Falk's the last player in the green room. We'll see if he spoiled it and it is Keldrick Falk or if it's not. And I don't think he did spoil it. If it is, he's just stating that there's one player left in the green room, which is Keldrick Falk. Yeah. All right. Pick is in for the Titans. Commish should be walking out here in just a second. Then we got the Seattle Seahawks to finish out the night. All right, here's the Titans selection at 31. Yeah, and Roger Goodell's announcing that Pittsburgh set the record for the most fans night one of a draft, which happens every year. It's just going to keep one-upping itself every year. So there's that. But here's the Titans selection now. They go Keldrick Falk, the edge rusher out of Auburn. The last player in the green room is selected. All right. The Seattle Seahawks are now on the clock for the final pick of the night. The Super Bowl champs, where do they go? I had them selecting Cassius Howell in my mock. As I've mentioned countless times, not super high on Cassius Howell. If they do go edge, like TJ Parker, he's got an elite last name. But yeah, I do like TJ Parker if they do go edge, but could go a couple different ways. Let's see. Jermon McCoy, Caden McDonald. I like Caden McDonald here if they want to go interior. They obviously drafted Byron Murphy in the first round a few years back. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, but I don't think they do that. They drafted, what's his name, out of South Carolina last year in the second round. They traded up early in the second round to get him. And Nick Emanwari. So, well, he's listed as their nickel now. But we'll see. We'll see where the Seattle Seahawks go at pick number 32. Okay, he just corrected himself. Caden McDonald and Colton Hood are still in the green room. I think Caden McDonald should be a first-round pick. Colton Hood I liked. Didn't know if he was going to be a first-round pick. I like Jermon McCoy, but obviously he had that injury this season, so he didn't play. But his film from his past season when he did play is absolutely off the charts. Could honestly argue for the top corner. Appreciate you, Crazy Ray. No problem. I love doing this. I love doing this. I thank you guys for stopping in and just hanging out and chilling my stream. I appreciate it. I appreciate that for sure. We will, of course, be back tomorrow with rounds 2 and 3. I believe the stream is already scheduled, but just so everyone in here is aware, whatever the time is for you when the draft started, it was 6 p.m. Mountain Time as the Seahawks pick is officially in. The draft will start 1 hour earlier tomorrow. So just be aware of that. It will start 1 hour earlier. But yeah, let's see who the final pick is in the first round with the Seattle Seahawks, the Super Bowl champions. And then I think I'm just going to reiterate this one more time for anybody who just joined or maybe wasn't able to pay attention to the last time I said it because they were out doing something else, because I'm going to get out of here sorry for hitting the mic again, but pretty quickly after the draft is over. Going to get out of here, going to refuel, going to eat, and then tonight we're going to release a video at some point. It could be before midnight, probably will be after, like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, as Keldrick Falk's getting his interview right now. And we're going to go and we're going to recap the first round, every pick, every trade that was made. Then we're going to go and list players who I personally would like the Broncos to maybe trade up for, or some players that could be available at 62 that I would like for the Denver Broncos to draft. And then we'll do a quick little mock draft following day 1 of the NFL draft. And at least that's the plan. If the video doesn't get released, then maybe I'll show it on stream before rounds 2 and 3 start tomorrow. But that is the plan. We're going to see the Seattle Seahawks first round pick right here at pick number 32. Then we're gonna get out of here and start preparing for day 2 tomorrow. Start resting the voice. It is very sore from doing a lot of constant talking. But yeah, we have got 1 pick remaining. Where do the Seahawks go? I'm going to guess Caden McDonald. I like Caden McDonald. Was my top interior guy. Really solid run stuffer. So I do think he's going to be the selection here. But we'll see what the Seahawks, the Super Bowl champions, do here at pick 62 in just a second. They're panning to the stage. So Kamish should be walking out here. They're mentioning Jadarian Price, and they did lose. They did obviously lose Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs. I like Jadarian Price. I would love him if the Broncos were able to get him tomorrow, but I don't know if they will. We'll see. So we'll see what they do. They obviously have Zach Charbonnet still. All right, they're doing another Make-A-Wish. That's awesome for the Seahawks selection here at pick 32. All right, here's the Seahawks selection at 32. Jadarian Price, the other Notre Dame running back. goes off the board here to the Seahawks. So the Broncos aren't going to get him. But I didn't expect the Broncos to. I thought he was going to go at some point in the second. So, yeah, Jadarian Price is the final pick of the first round going to the Seahawks. So it's going to be Zach Charbonnet and Jadarian Price in Seattle after losing Kenneth Walker. I guess really quickly, who the running backs that I like for the Broncos, and I don't think necessarily we're going running back at pick 62, but just to mention it, I love Jonah Coleman, Nicholas Singleton, Katron Allen, and then later, Kalen Black, Roman Hemby, some guys later. So, yeah, we'll see what the Broncos do tomorrow. I hope everyone has a fantastic night. Enjoy your evening. Expect that video out here in a little bit. So, yeah, I hope everyone had a fantastic night. Thank you all for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow for day 2 for rounds 2 and 3, where the Broncos will make their first pick of the NFL.